Some breaking news north of the border. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau moments ago says he will resign today. Says he will stay on until a replacement is picked. CBC is reporting that he's set to hold a news conference next hour. Trudeau is facing mounting pressure from within his own Liberal Party to step down. He trails behind opposition Conservatives in Canada. His job approval is in free fall. You got affordable housing shortages. You got persistent inflation. You got worsening economic outlook. You got all that up against him.
Like the kid says, the best gifts are always a surprise. So if a happy ending is staring you right in the face, then just say, all right, I guess I'll take it.
Wish you a Merry Christmas, baby. Wish you a Merry Christmas, and such happiness.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back! Here we go! What a great day to be alive! We are back in action and ready to rock after a glorious Christmas recharge and a happy, happy new year to you! We bring you tidings of great joy! Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a round of applause for our people in Canada right now? Boom! We are ready to roll. Canada, you are being liberated. You're welcome. We have liberated Canada in the new year. Today, Kamala Harris is going to certify her own election L to Donald Trump live on our program. Ladies and gentlemen, she's going to do it on today, January 6th. 2025. I just want to say, what a glorious start to the new year. Trudeau will resign live on our program in moments here. We're monitoring live. We have a feed live. Justin Trudeau is set and ready to admit defeat. Justin Trudeau will admit the defeat of something very specific, which is the globalist world order, which is a patina for Marxism, for like global Marxism, for like global communism. Started and sired by Justin Trudeau's father, Fidel Castro, who stated unequivocally that he was going to bring down the West, that communism would bring down the West. And his son, the demon spawn of that Marxism, has done his best to destroy Canada. With this, ladies and gentlemen, this fell swoop of Justin Trudeau, which will happen live on our program in moments here, we are going to usher in a new era. The end of global Marxism and the beginning of a new golden era. An era that will be led by American freedom and America first. Donald Trump delivering major results already. Also live on our program today will be Chairman Jim Jordan, Julie Kelly, and the great Mike Davis. What a banger of a show. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is the Benny Show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready and so refreshed, and we're going to rock. Man, I'm so happy to be back. This has been 2 weeks that we've been off the program, possibly our longest break ever. It just happened to be that Christmas was on a Wednesday and New Year's was on a Wednesday, so it just sort of lined up. And unlike some other individuals and creators and news programs, we take the capacity to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ very seriously. I wanted to take time with my children. I wanted to refresh. I wanted to reset. Hey, Alex, can you grab that? Can you grab the a tweet of kind of the sort of what we've been up to? Because I wanted to give. Actually, I got it right here. Don't you worry about it. Got it right here. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Bearded Benny. There you go. This is, what did we do over the break? I built a home gym. All right. Built a home gym. Cost me about the same as an annual gym membership. And I grew a disgusting depression beard, but I wasn't depressed. I know. You don't have to roast me in the comments. I know I don't have good facial hair. We're clean shaven for a reason. But I just took a ton of time to like lock in with my children. You only have little kids for like this really vanishing window of time. And I hope you had that moment to do this as well, because that's actually what the holiday season is about. The drama, the fighting, the flame wars, they'll all be there. Some people decided to have a big flame war on Christmas Day. which I found personally offensive, actually. No. I was there Christmas maxing with my family over the last 2 weeks. I just want to say to the audience here, thank you, and I deeply appreciate you. Thank you for giving us the capacity to do this. I know there's a lot of people who have to work over Christmas, a lot of people who have to, who are obviously striving, but get the opportunity to like seriously be there and vibe with your children was a blessing. We've been live for you. We've been live like all hours of the night. We were live for 12 straight hours on election day. We were live every second of every big breaking news moment, and we want to bring back that recharge energy to you. We've recharged, we've reset, we've refocused, doing a lot of scripture reading, a lot of like time to just have clear focus, sunlight in my face, lifting. Everyone's roasting me for not having much weight on the bar there. Yep, that's true, because I'm having to retrain myself, right, to be healthy. Waking up a lot earlier, ladies and gentlemen, and doing the thing that matters most, right, which is actually passing on our values to the next generation. And so that has been the focus of the last 2 weeks for us. And so I just want to say, because you are my family, because I believe that we're like a family together here. This is really important. I cannot emphasize enough. If you're a young parent, if you want to be a parent, if you're a grandparent, like just put the phone away, okay? The drama will all be there. Digital world will all be there. Your children live in a physical and practical world. Lock in with your kids, man. And that's how you save the country, actually. That's actually how you save culture. Pass on your values to your children. This is what America First looks like. America First means my American family first. My American children first. And maybe if you're watching from Canada, I know plenty of you are, maybe your Canadian children first, actually, right? For you. You should want that for your nation. And so this is how we actually save this place. Get married, fall in love, get married, have a million kids, pass on your values. That's truly how you save a country. All the policies in the world won't matter. Won't matter if we are not able to preserve this place for our children. So that is our motivation, as ever. So we've gone complete and total dad beast mode. And that's what we did over the break. That's our little update. We posted a little bit about it, but really I just want to inspire I just want to inspire other fathers, young fathers. We need good, strong, young fathers and good leaders in this nation. And this is how we save it. So it is a glorious and uplifting time. It is a wonderful time to be alive, and we are about to witness history on this program today. We're going to be live. We're going to have for you, again, some of the best people to talk through some of these major issues of the day. Chairman Jim Jordan, Julie Kelly, and Mike Davis. And we're going to be covering Justin Trudeau resigning live soon. Do we have a feed up? Can we kind of like show people? Is there like a feed? We can show you. Okay, so it's like we have Canadian broadcast TV up because you can see this. Have a look. So just letting you know, you're not going to miss anything. So there you have Trudeau to announce resignation at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's in a few minutes here. So this is Canadian broadcast TV. We, not going to, before Justin Trudeau comes out. It looks like, and forgive me, like, is he on the steps of Parliament? Is that where he is right there? Justin Trudeau, such a creep, such a loser. I want to cover exactly why I think he's doing this, because the reasons are pretty clear why Justin Trudeau is about to resign. And it has everything to do with him being a sniveling, self-obsessed, narcissistic, horrible leader. His party is going down into defeat, and it will be so humiliating. They're set to lose hundreds of seats in the next election, and the next election should be called early, actually. I see some movement up there. Is there like movement? No, okay. Okay, is the light? All right, okay. Just wanted to show all of you sort of the shot here. There's the dais, the podium, and we will get to Justin Trudeau, ladies and gentlemen, when he comes out and speaks. First, though, before any of that, I wanted to jump in and talk about starting your year off right. There's good news for homeowners. Interest rates have dropped now and are in the 5s. If you've been burdened by high interest rate and credit card debt, now is the time to break free. American Financing can help you access the cash in your home and pay off your high interest debt. Last year, the salary-based mortgage consultants helped customers save an average of $800 a month. That's like giving yourself $10,000 raise. What a great way to start the new year. If you start today, you'll be able to delay your mortgage by 2 payments. Call American Financing today at 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. We are awaiting the destruction of Marxism here in the Western Hemisphere. Ladies and gentlemen, look at what happened to the Canadian dollar. This is the Canadian dollar right now. It is skyrocketing on the news of Justin Trudeau's resignation. Boom. There it goes. Boom. Good for you, Canada. We have a lot of love in Canada. Where do we have a good poll pinned? Do we have the good poll pinned? I think we have a poll that says, should America annex Canada? What do you think? Would you welcome Canada as the 51st state? Fight it out in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Fight it out in the chat. Here's what we are looking at right now. This is the breaking news across the country and across the world, actually. Trudeau is expected to announce resignation. Now, Trudeau is announcing his resignation on the foot of a meeting with Donald Trump that was the world's most humiliating meeting of a world leader possibly ever captured on camera. Not only was Justin Trudeau trolled and mocked during the entire meeting, but Donald Trump began the meeting by saying, Canada takes so much American money that it should become our 51st state. And you should be called governor. You should be the governor of that state. You should be Governor Justin Trudeau. How about that? And then in subsequent social media posts, Donald Trump has said, no, we're going to start referring to you as governor. And this is obviously humiliated and disgraced Justin Trudeau through the, do you have that up, Klein? You can you toss her up. Yeah. Go ahead, toss it up. Now, Justin Trudeau was backstabbed and sabotaged by his own party. So there were multiple people who, in his own party. Chrystia Freeland is one that comes to mind. She was the finance minister of Justin Trudeau's party. She resigned and then sabotaged Justin Trudeau on her way out. And Donald Trump posting this, the great state of Canada is stunned as the finance minister resigns, fired from her position. Governor Justin Trudeau, her behavior is totally toxic and not conducive to making deals for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed. Governor Justin Trudeau. Of the, give me that Peter Doocy report, ALX. I don't know if we have it in the script. Give me that Peter Doocy report on the original Trump comments to Trudeau. So Trump's mean tweets caused Trudeau to effectively resign. It's like, are you prepared for the golden era? Are you ready? Are you ready? Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is reported to resign today. As early as Monday, according to Canadian media, we now know as a matter of fact that it will happen. The news was first reported by the Globe and Mail on Sunday night, citing 3 sources. The outlet said it is unclear. The Liberal Party leader will step down. The resignation is expected to come before the National Caucus meeting on Wednesday. The news comes as Trudeau's popularity continues to dwindle in Canada. Check out these popularity numbers, man. Dude, okay, so the popularity of Joe Biden is in the 30s. The population of Justin Trudeau is in the 20s in Canada. Canada has... Yeah, please. Canada has massive immigration crises that, just as in the United States, is predicated and created by the federal government and is sabotaging the Canadian people, sabotaging their capacity to buy a home, to have affordable living. Their social welfare state is in shambles. Is crippled. The Canadian dollar is collapsing. Everyone who has any type of good business, any type of intelligence, sophistication, good idea in their brain, the brain drain to America is staggering. You know, Elon Musk moved to Canada first. He went from South Africa to Canada. And then Elon Musk, of course, decided, I'm not going to be part of this system, and moved down to America. The capacity for Canada to stand on its own 2 feet and to continue as a nation is, quite frankly, in peril right now, which is too bad because there's a lot of patriots in Canada. There's a lot of people that we love in Canada. Canada is a beautiful nation, and it shouldn't have to be this way. Donald Trump calling it out, again, to Justin Trudeau's face, who has a meager 28% of Canada supporting him. So this is what it looked like when this was the original reporting of Justin Trudeau getting roasted to his face by Donald Trump. This is what perpetuated this remarkable cascade of events Here's Peter Doocy with the first report. Donald Trump mean tweeting Justin Trudeau out of office. Trump hasn't even taken his office yet. Here we go.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor. Right.
But more on that detail with the panel.
Dude, it's so awesome. Here we go. Let's jump forward to some recent Canadian polling. You want to know why this is actually happening? You know, because these people, they don't actually care about their nations. They don't care about the future of anyone that resides inside of the borders of their country. These people are globalists. They would much rather you live under the slavish boot heel of a one world government than for you to be happy. You, of course, will be, you will own nothing and you will be happy, right? Which is the orders of people like Justin Trudeau. He's not doing this to make life better for anybody in Canada. He is simply behaving like the sycophantic, megalomaniacal tyrant that he is, and what happens when tyrants lose power. They flee. They flee the nation, right? They're too scared for what will come of them when the Canadian truckers, right, finally are able to have their voice in the Parliament of Canada. Canadian truckers, we haven't forgotten you. Freaking love you, Canadian truckers. 223 seats is what the Conservatives, who are blue in Canada, this is just the old switcheroo, right? Red for Liberal, blue for Conservatives in Canada. Pierre Poilievre is the Conservative leader, who is a deeply impressive dude. He is set. This is what the current polls are. You think that Donald Trump won in a landslide? Like, the Republicans have like 2-seat majority in Congress. Luckily, they were able to get a speaker. I'm not a particularly huge fan of Mike Johnson. You know that. I actually am somebody who wishes for Mitch McConnell to immediately resign from Congress. I think there'd be better leaders than Mike Johnson for Republicans in the House. But nonetheless, unified MAGA control of government. But we only have like a 1-seat majority and like a 3-seat majority in the Senate. Look at this. This would be a hundreds of seat majority for the Conservatives in Canada, given the most recent polling. Pierre Poilievre is the man right here. He was made very famous for this interview that he did eating an apple. He's an awesome dude and somebody who is going to hopefully take the leadership reins very soon in Canada. Look at this. Again, blue equals Conservative in Canada. Red equals Liberal. So just swap them, okay? So blue, you'd want the nation to go blue, right, technically? So look at that country. You can't see red anywhere. They're like some really some teeny dots of red like here. It's clustered right inside of like these horribly run inner cities, like here in Montreal, right? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Toronto, just like some small, like pinkish, but like the entire nation taken over by Conservatives. You want to talk like a real landslide. This is like proper landslide. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Justin Trudeau is skipping out. This is why Justin Trudeau is saying, no, I'm done here, actually. So what happens next? They should call an election. They should have an election right now. You need a functional, the election is supposed to be October 20th in Canada. You need like a functional government to work with Donald Trump. I would totally, by the way, be in favor of Canada becoming America's 51st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th state. I think that would be awesome. I want the land bridge to Alaska. It makes me angry as an American. It's my birthright to be able to drive to Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. I want to be able to live like an Eskimo. My kids have never seen real snow. I live in Florida. It is my birthright. My ancestors didn't bleed and die and fight for this country for me to not be able to drive directly through to Alaska from Florida. What the hell are we even doing here? I should be able to stop at a Wawa and a Buc-ee's every step of the way. There should be Starbuckses the whole way through, right? And Buc-ee's I should be able to get a golden corral. There should be a golden corral right there. Right here. Right there. That area. That's the West. This is what I'm focusing on. Right here. The straight drive through Alaska. How dare Canada stop us from driving to Alaska? You want to drive to Alaska? I want to drive to Alaska. It is a shame on our country that we can't do that. This is our birthright. We have to take a plane. We have to show our passport to drive to Alaska. Alaska's ours. Okay? And Canada's stopping us from getting there. Quickly. On a massive interstate. There needs to be a 17-lane interstate right there. Right through there. Okay? Speed limit 90 miles per hour. With those giant overpasses. I want those giant overpasses in every one of them. You know, you get off, right? The interstate. Don't even have to really exit. Huge. I want a huge Golden Corral. Okay? Monster Golden Corral overpass. And a Sbarro's. What was this all for? Exactly. The Revolutionary War, World War II. What was it all for if we can't do that? The Civil War? If we're not able to do that, then we've lost, actually, as a culture. Okay? Now, Greenland's right over here. Greenland apparently wants to have independence from Denmark now. And so maybe it could all be ours. Look at all this. Look at all this area. Look at all this. Look at this beautiful area up here. I don't even know what's going on. What even happens up there? I'm not sure, but I know that it's primed. This is primed for a massive golden Trump skyscraper and a sizzler. Okay? Right there. Primo territory. Okay? Who wouldn't want to do that? Some wakeboarding, probably. Maybe some ice up there. Could create a new sport. The possibilities are endless, Canada. Think about it. I hope I'm not offending my Canadian audience here. I know we have plenty of Canucks in the audience. We freaking love you. Here's the original reporting here on whatever this is a Canadian. This is the Canadian Globe and Mail. Trudeau expected to announce exit as party leader. Now, he hasn't announced it yet. We are still waiting for Justin Trudeau, who is late now by almost 15 minutes, to announce. It's like classic, right? It's a classic. Justin Trudeau is expected to announce exit as party leader before a national caucus meeting Wednesday. All right? Look at this. The free snowbird show. Snowbird extravaganza. This is what's going on in Canada, okay? This is what's going on in Canada. Imagine every one of these performers is Kid Rock. Okay? That's what you could have, Canada. It could be you. It could be everyone. This is Kid Rock. This is Hulk Hogan, all right? And right here is Lee Greenwood. Hell yeah. Yes. It could be you. Instead, you get whatever this derpy, whatever that is. Okay? So think about it, Canada. Think about it, Canada. A dark era in Canadian history is finally coming to an end. We will look back on Justin Trudeau era and say, how did that happen? How did somebody who clearly hates their nation get in charge of the country for so long? He's been in charge of the country. It's like one thing if you come and go. Justin Trudeau's been in charge for over a decade in Canada. Say what you will, but at least the American system limits everything to 8 years. The worst of the worst, Barack Obama gets 8 years in office. Okay? I mean, you could argue that Barack Obama is extending his term in office by running a shadow government, and how well did that work out for him? Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is expected to announce his resignation before Wednesday. Now it's happening live. Now, if he ever comes out of his little doorstep here, executive producer ALX tells me this is some little cabin that he's in. Apparently, it's a cabin. Rideau cabin. Anybody? A Rideau cottage. Rideau cottage. Hey ALX, while we're waiting for Justin Trudeau, can I get that creepy photo of him and his son going to go see Barbie? Can I get some of the photos of him sitting there with his legs crossed with Trump? Some of the most awkward photos of Trudeau and Trump. Let's just roast him. If is he gonna be late? He's gonna delay our show because we have the certification. We're going to be live today. We're gonna be live for next. Who knows? The Kingdom Come. We'll be live for next. We've got a lot of energy after these 2 weeks of recharging and refreshing that you guys have done and refocusing. I just want to say thank you, and I hope you spent your holiday season the same. There it is. Oh my goodness. I have something that will shake you to your core here, ladies and gentlemen. What the hell is this? This is apparently a man, as a Western leader, who's standing there with his son. This is this is just some people were like, this is Justin Trudeau's boyfriend. No, this is his kid. And it's his son, and he's wearing like a skinny pink V-neck shirt, taking his son to Barbie. The absolute and total destruction of testosterone and the American male and the American man here. Also, if we can zoom, can we zoom on this, Killer Klein? If we can zoom, you can see that Justin Trudeau is clearly in like a fit of like drinking, a drunkenness, falling over, smashing his head. He has a giant open wound on his skull. What the hell is this? What is this? What is that? He got divorced like right before. It's like you can always tell this guy like got divorced, like his wife for like 20 years. He has like multiple children with her, and it's like just leaves her. So he's like taking his son to go see Barbie, taking his daughter to go see Oppenheimer, and then he's like open wound on his forehead. Like, this is not a serious person. This is certainly not the like commander in chief of your country. Now, Jerry just sent in a photo that he says is not manipulated at all. We'll see what you think. What do you think? Jerry sent this in and said, nope, this is a real photo from the White House. What do you guys think? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Trudeau on. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Over to Trudeau. Here we go.
Generosity and the determination of Canadians. It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. Mes chers Canadiens, à chaque matin, je me suis réveillé.
Each and every morning, I woke up as Prime Minister, inspired by the resilience, generosity, and determination that characterizes us so well as Canadians. This is what motivates me each and every day that I've had the privilege of serving as Prime Minister. This is why, since 2015, I have fought for this country and for you, to strengthen the middle class. We have mobilized as Canadians to support each other during the pandemic in order to advance reconciliation, in order to defend free trade on our continent, for our support of Ukraine and democracy, and to fight against climate change and to prepare the economy for the future. We are going through a critical time.
My friends, as you all know, I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians. I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor-General that we need a new session of Parliament. She has granted this request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. Mes chers amis, comme vous savez,
Dear
je suis un
friends,
fighter.
as you know, I
Dans
am
mon
a
fort
fighter.
intérieur, je me suis toujours battu parce que je me soucie
Deep inside, I've
profondément
always
des
fought
Canadiens.
because I care deeply
Je
about
serai
Canadians,
toujours motivé
and
par ce
I
qui est
will
dans le meilleur
always be
intérêt
motivated
des
by
Canadiens.
what is in the best interest of
Et le fait est
Canadians.
que
The
malgré
fact
tous les
is
efforts
that
déployés pour
despite
passer à
all
travers,
efforts
le Parlement est
to
paralysé
get
depuis
through
des mois.
this time,
Après ce qui a été la
Parliament
plus
has been
longue
paralyzed for
session de
months
Parlement
after what has
minoritaire
been the
dans
longest
l'histoire de
session
notre
of a minority parliament in our
pourquoi ce
country's
matin,
history.
j'ai rencontré
And that
la
is why this
gouverneure
morning
générale pour
I
lui faire
met with the
savoir
Governor
que nous
General
avions
to tell
besoin
her
d'une
that
nouvelle
we
session du Parlement.
needed a new session of
Elle a
Parliament.
accédé à ma demande
She
et la
accepted my
Chambre
request,
sera donc
and so
prorogée
the House of
jusqu'au
Commons
24
will be
mars.
prorogued until March 24th.
Pendant le temps des fêtes,
French is the first thing to go
Days,
when we take over
and
Canada.
I had the opportunity
Because this is
to reflect
really
and to
something.
have long talks with my family with regards to our future.
tout au long de ma carrière, tout le
Throughout my
succès que j'ai
career,
eu
all my
personnellement
success
est dû à leur
is
soutien
due to
et à
their
leur
support
encouragement.
and to their
Donc, hier soir,
encouragements.
au souper,
So last night, over dinner, I told my kids what I am telling you here today. I will resign as leader of the Liberal Party of Canada and as Prime Minister after the party will have selected its next leader after a rigorous, competitive, and national process. Last night, I asked the president of the Liberal Party to begin this process. Our country deserves a real choice during the next election, and it's become obvious for me that if I have to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best choice. The Liberal Party of Canada is an important institution in the history of our great country and our democracy. A new Prime Minister and leader of the party will carry forth the ideas and the values of the Liberal Party during the next election. I'm looking forward to watching this process unfold over the following months. We were elected in 2021 for a third mandate to reinforce the economy after the pandemic and to advance the interests of Canada in a complex world. And that is exactly what I will continue to do and what we will continue to do for Canadians.
The Liberal Party of Canada is an important institution in the history of our great country and democracy. A new Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party will carry its values and ideals into that next election. I'm excited to see the process unfold in the months ahead. We were elected for the third time in 2021 to strengthen the economy post-pandemic and advance Canada's interests in a complicated world. And that is exactly the job that I and we will continue to do for Canadians. Merci beaucoup, mes amis.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll now go to questions, starting with Laurence Martin, Radio-Canada.
Let's do a few questions.
Hello, Mr. Trudeau.
Let's do a few.
You wanted to have an election with Pierre Poilievre as your opponent. There have been internal battles for a while. Why are you giving up now? What made you change your mind? As you know, I don't easily back down faced with a fight, especially a very important one for our party and for the country. But I do this job because the interests of Canadians and the well-being of our democracy is something that I hold dear. And it's become clear to me that I cannot be the leader during the next elections due to internal battles.
As you all know, I am a fighter, and I am not someone who backs away from a fight, particularly when a fight is as important as this one is. But I have always been driven by my love for Canada, by my desire to serve Canadians and by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And Canadians deserve a real choice in the next election. And it has become obvious to me with the internal battles that I cannot be the one to carry the Liberal standard into the next election.
Bye-bye.
Vous êtes au pouvoir depuis près de 10
You've
ans.
been in power
Le
for nearly
Canada a
10
changé
years.
avec votre gouvernement.
Canada has changed with your government.
Quelle réalisation
If there's
dont vous êtes le plus fier?
one
Bye-bye.
accomplishment that you're the most proud of, I know there are several, but perhaps the thing you are most proud of, and maybe one regret? Answer. In 2015, we were elected on a promise to work for the middle class in this country. And that is what we did. We reduced the level of poverty. We helped families. We created an economy that works for many more people while preparing for the future, a more digital future, and to prepare for a world where climate change will have a greater impact. We've done a lot of work with Canadians, and Canada is better off due to the work that we've all done over the past few years. A regret? I continue to think that if our electoral system had been changed so that people would be able to have a first, second, and third choice on the ballot, parties would have spent more time looking at their points in common to be the second or third choice of voters rather than to see this polarization. But I could not unilaterally change our ballot system.
We got elected in 2015 to fight for the middle class, and that's exactly what we've done over the past years. We reduced their taxes, we increased the benefits to families, we made sure the economy was focused on working for everyone and not just a few, and that has changed. That has dropped poverty rates in Canada, that has brought more people into the workforce, that has moved us forward on reconciliation in a way that has deeply improved the opportunities and success of Canadians, despite the incredibly difficult times the world is going through right now. There's lots more work to be done, and I know that this party and this country and Canadians will keep doing it. If I have one regret, particularly as we approach this election, well, there are probably many regrets that I will think of, but I do wish that we'd been able to change the way we elect our governments in this country so that people could simply choose a second choice or a third choice on the same ballot, so that parties would spend more time trying to be people's second or third choices, and people would have been looking for things they have in common instead of trying to polarize and divide Canadians against each other. I think in this time, figuring out how to pull together and find common ground remains something that is really important for democracies. But I could not change unilaterally without support of other parties our electoral system. That wouldn't have been responsible.
Prochaine question.
Tonda McCharles, Toronto Star. Prime Minister, up until 3 weeks ago, you were intending to stay, and it seems that the event 3 weeks ago of Ms. Freeland coming out and saying you were firing her as your finance minister was the catalyst that brought us here today. So can you explain your side of what happened there?
Chrystia has been by my side for close to 10 years now. She has been
such a broken man,
incredible political partner through just about everything we have done as a government and as a party over the past decade. I had really hoped that she would agree to continue as my deputy prime minister and take on one of the most important files that not just this government, but this country is facing, but she chose otherwise. In regards to what actually happened, I am not someone who's in the habit of sharing private conversations. Chrystia.
Oh, this is humiliating.
Chrystia was by my side for nearly 10 years. She was a political partner, a crucial political partner, given everything that we've gone through as a party and as a government. And I really would have wanted for her to choose to continue as my Deputy Prime Minister, and that she would take over one of the most important files that we will have to deal with in the next few months. But she did not want to do that. As for details, I'm not one to share details of private conversations.
The Liberal Party as an institution and the internal battles right now, but I'm wondering if you feel that another leader will have more success than you will at beating Pierre Poilievre in the next campaign.
Pierre Poilievre's vision for this country is not the right one for Canadians. Stopping the fight against climate change.
He's crying. He's breaking down in tears. He's in tears. You listen to him. His voice is cracking.
Backing off on the values and strength and diversity that Canada has always worked to pull itself together on is not the right path for the country. Attacking journalists, the CBC institutions, that's not what Canadians need in this moment. We need an ambitious, optimistic view of the future, and Pierre Poilievre is not offering that.
You're wearing four coats.
I look forward,
and you're crying about global warming.
As progressives across this country stand up for the kind of vision for a better country that Canadians have always carried, despite the tremendous pressures around the world to think smaller, to veer towards the hard right, and to be less ambitious for what we can be and do as a country when the world really needs Canada.
That's not an answer, though. Yes or no? Is there another leader that could beat him?
Absolutely.
Sur le leader?
Oui.
Est-ce que vous
Pierre Poilievre.
en français, s'il vous plaît, merci.
Pierre Poilievre a une vision.
Pierre Poilievre has a very small vision and the wrong vision for Canada. If we even accept that he has a vision, he wants to back off on fundamental values, wanting to stop the fight against climate change, refusing to invest in a greener and more inclusive economy,
climate change,
trying to divide Canadians rather than uniting them to face the future together in an ambitious and optimistic way. That is not the right choice for Canadians.
He's crying.
I'm looking forward.
Crying about climate change while wearing 5 coats. And you can see his breath, and he's freezing cold. He's like literally shivering talking about global warming.
And for Canadians.
What a clown show.
For Canadians. Hélène Buzetier. Hello, Mr. Trudeau. 16 years ago, in December 2008, Stephen Harper prorogued Parliament to avoid a vote of non-confidence that he knew that he would lose because the 3 opposition parties would vote against him. It's the exact same situation that you find yourself in today. Stéphane Dion at the time had said, and I quote, that this was an affront to democracy. I'd like to know why what was bad for conservatives of Stephen Harper should be good for the Liberals of Justin Trudeau. The Governor General in 2008 had concluded, and correctly so, that the House had given formal confidence to Mr. Harper's government, despite a signed letter. This was a political document at the time. The voice of the House counts. So before stopping the work at the House over the holidays, we won 3 non-confidence votes. And so we're going to have to test the confidence of the House as of March, to adopt the necessary budgetary credit so that the government can continue to function.
In 2008, the Governor General correctly concluded that because the very last times in the previous weeks that the confidence of the House had been tested, it had passed that confidence test, Stephen Harper continued to have the confidence of the House. And it actually would bear out because as soon as they came back from the prorogation, Stephen Harper won a confidence vote once again. So a political document or political speeches doesn't carry the kind of weight that winning a confidence vote means. But this prorogation will take us only into March, and there will be confidence votes in March in the passing of supply that will allow Parliament to weigh in on confidence in a way that is entirely in keeping with all the principles of democracy and the workings of our strong institutions.
With all due respect, isn't there something a little bit anti-democratic to suspend the possibility of the House of expressing their non-confidence while your party is looking for its savior? Shouldn't you call an election right now? Well,
Yes.
I think that
Yes.
as everyone in the press gallery, the parliamentary press gallery knows, the extent to which Parliament has been paralyzed now for several months. We are stuck on a question of privilege. There are constant obstructionist motions being presented, and we've accomplished very little over the past few months. The House of Commons needs a reset. People need to calm down and to get back to work for Canadians and not play petty politics constantly. And that is what we're seeing on behalf of the Conservatives right now. So this reset has two elements. Prorogation, to begin with. This allows us to start over with a fresh, new approach.
His voice is cracking.
And secondly, the Liberal Party will begin the process to choose a new leader. And I expect
his voice is cracking and he's crying.
I am not the
We
one
have to
who
salt
will
him.
lead the party to the
Please,
next
ladies and gentlemen.
elections.
Get me some salt in the comment
polarization that
section.
we see right now at the House of Commons should also settle down.
Salt.
Canadians need a fully functioning parliament.
Salt. Justin
Specifically,
Trudeau.
during this complex
Salt,
period.
salt, salt. Get me that
And
salt.
both elements will represent the reset
Salt, salt,
that
salt.
we need. In English, but can you explain why you're not calling an election?
The parliamentary press gallery and anyone who's been watching politics closely over the past months will know that Parliament has been entirely seized by obstruction and filibustering and a total lack of productivity over the past few months. We are right now the longest serving minority government in history, and it's time for a reset. It's time for the temperature to come down, for the people to have a fresh start in Parliament, to be able to navigate through these complex times, both domestically and internationally. And the reset that we have is actually two parts. One is the prorogation, but the other part is recognizing that removing me from the equation as the leader who will fight the next election for the Liberal Party should also decrease the level of polarization that we're seeing right now in the House and in Canadian politics, and allow people to actually focus on serving Canadians in this House and with their work the way Canadians deserve.
On va prendre une dernière question.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Stephanie Taylor with the National Post. Given, as you just said, there's going to be confidence votes in March, opposition parties have said they are prepared to bring down your government. What kind of chances do you think you are leaving to your successor, given that there will only be mere weeks for them to introduce themselves to Canadians before heading into an election, potentially?
I have a tremendous amount of confidence in both Canadians and in parliamentarians' interest in serving Canadians in the right way. We're in a minority government right now, and there hasn't been an active leadership in a minority government in more than 50 years in this country. And there is always going to be the challenge of having a leadership race while a parliament would face confidence votes in the course of delivering supply to the government. So this is something that we're going to navigate through, but I truly feel that removing the contention around my own continued leadership is an opportunity to bring the temperature down, have a government that will focus on the complex issues that are coming forward in the coming months, while the party gets to have a full national process that brings in people from right across the country and makes a determination about the best person to carry the progressive liberal standard into the next election.
Can you clarify whether ministers who would like to campaign for your job will have to step out of cabinet? And how can the Liberal government be in a position to protect Canadian businesses and Canadians from the threat of tariffs from incoming President Donald Trump when members of the government are going to be focused on who's going to be taking your job?
The government will still, and the cabinet will still be very much focused on doing the job that Canadians elected us to do in 2021, which is fight for their interests, stand up for their well-being, and make sure that they are good and that Canadians are protected and strong. There will be a leadership process and the rules will unfold over the coming weeks. But I can assure you that the tools and the need to stand up for Canadians, to protect Canadians in their interests and continue to fight for the economy is something that everyone in this government will be singularly focused on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been just an incredible act of total and complete humiliation and a abject surrender to President Trump. We have enjoyed so very much watching Justin Trudeau cry, bitch, and moan about climate change while freezing his ass off in 5 different coats. Well, you can see his breath and there's like piles of snow behind him. But global warming is... He's now dooming his party, and he's destroying the Liberal Party in Canada. They have no leader. They have no confidence votes. And they're now pushing him to call an election now. Pierre Poilievre should be the Prime Minister of Canada now. They're facing a massive, massive landslide. There he goes. And Justin Trudeau is out after that response in French. Ladies and gentlemen, we just don't speak French, nothing personal or anything. I'm just very glad we can operate in a single language in this country. Now, Justin Trudeau does speak French. He does speak English. Does Justin Trudeau speak Hindu? I don't know. I'm not exactly certain. I know he likes to dress this way, and I'm very surprised that Justin Trudeau didn't actually take the dais today with this outfit on. I'm confused. Justin, this is one of your most popular outfits. Why didn't you do the press conference like this and claim that people were just being racist against you? You could have done that. This would have been the easiest out in political history. Just go up to just dress like this, walk up to the dais, walk up to the microphone, tap it, and be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a victim of racism." How do you survive? Jim Jordan will be joining our program in just a single second, and I want to ask him that question. How does Justin Trudeau survive? How does he survive this? How? How? This is a guy who's so stupid, he couldn't walk over like a potted plant. Look at this. He clam clombers into a potted plant, has to be caught by some chick when he's waving at non-existent crowds of adoration. He spills all the water in the plant. This is not great water usage, Justin. I thought you were an environmentalist. Do we have this clip? Yeah, this is so good. This is Mick Jagger sitting there at a Mick Jagger concert being like, I just know that you all love Justin Trudeau, and everyone boos him. Dude, when you're at a Rolling Stones concert and the lead singer of the Rolling Stones can't even get people to applaud for Justin Trudeau, you have problems, okay? This one too, Justin Trudeau at the podium for the North American Indigenous Games. Load them, boys, load them. Oh, you can't get these guys, Justin Trudeau can't get applause at the North American Indigenous Games. It's not good. And ladies and gentlemen, Pierre Poilievre will be taking the chair soon. This is the question. Is it the end of Marxism in the Western Hemisphere? We certainly hope so. If you can't see the similarities, Klein, you got another one there on the similarities? Oh yeah, okay. If you can't see the similarities, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to do for you, right? You got to get your eyes checked. Look at that. That's actually my favorite Justin Trudeau. That and this are my favorite Justin Trudeau looks at the very end. There you go. Good job, Canada. Well done. Okay, so victory and winning across the board, ladies and gentlemen. Here in this country, we will be certifying Donald Trump's unified MAGA control of government today, live. Kamala Harris will be certifying that L in Congress. Good man who's going to be there, I believe, is going to be the great Chairman Jim Jordan, who has long been awaiting for this day. The Chairman Jim Jordan's been on our program for years talking about the corruption that needs to end in our federal government, and he must be a very, very happy camper today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chairman Jim Jordan to the program. Mr. Chairman, happy January 6th. Happy Kamala Harris certifying her L today.
Yeah, exactly. 14 days when it really happens, but today the certification, so that's great. We got organized last week in the Congress, unified around Speaker Johnson. Today we'll get the certification done for the election. I think it's going to go off without a hitch. And then on the 20th, President Trump gets sworn in, and we're off and running, trying to get this reconciliation package put together just as quickly as possible.
Yes, so this is going to be the big bill that Donald Trump is talking about. He seems to have endorsed this bill on Hugh Hewitt's show this morning. Can you talk us through what can we expect from a legislative perspective happening right away?
Yeah, I lost you there for a second, Benny.
Yep.
Look, I think we're going to focus on what this election was about. We need revenues to do the repatriation of people who come into the country illegally. So getting control of our border, that'll be huge. Reauthorizing the tax cuts that were so good in helping our economy grow. Some of the other tax cut promises President Trump made the American people, no tax on tips and the overtime issue, those kind of things. That'll all be part of this package. And look, I say this all the time. I think we make this job way too complicated. It's pretty basic. What'd you tell the voters you were going to do when you ran for it? If you get elected, go do what you said. We told them we would secure the border, reauthorize the tax cuts, get our economy growing so we would bring down the inflation and stop the weaponization of government against we the people. That's our mandate. That's what we got to get focused on. And we're gonna hit the ground running. Already doing that, planning and putting things together, but certainly on the 20th after President Trump is sworn in.
So Mike Johnson wins on the first ballot, but there were antics on the other side of the aisle, plenty of grandstanding and crying and seething. Oh, can you hear us, Congressman? Or do we need to reconnect here? Can you hear us, Congressman? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to work on reconnecting the congressman.
Yeah. I got you back now, Benny. I lost you for a second there.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, why don't we work through this, and then if you need to reconnect, we'll do that.
Okay.
But if you can hear me now, you can hear me now. Okay.
I can.
We saw plenty of antics and grandstanding during the speakership race from the other side. Will we see that today in the certification of President Trump's win?
I don't know, but frankly, if Congressman Raskin is consistent. You know, he was pushing the 14th Amendment, trying to keep President Trump off the ballot, and said all kinds of things. If he doesn't push for it, I think that's a little bit interesting. But understand, they changed the law last Congress, and so it takes more members to sign on to object to actually even get to a debate about a respective state. So I don't anticipate that happening, particularly in light of the fact Mr. Raskin was pushing the 14th Amendment when all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said 9-0. You can't do that. You can't keep President Trump off the ballot. So I think it's going to go pretty smooth, which is great. Let's get on with getting President Trump in the White House and getting focused on the things that we told the voters we were going to do.
Fantastic. We'd love nothing more than to be able to see that certification happen. I think it will start at 1 p.m. Will you be there?
Yep.
Will you be there in the Senate where this will be taking place?
Well, no, it'll be in the House. It'll be in the House.
Okay.
Because the House is a bigger body, so the Senate comes over to the House. If someone objects, then they got to have, I think it's 87 members of the House have to sign on to the objection if they object to a respective state. And I think you need 20 senators now that they changed the law. It used to be just 1 and 1, but now you need a much higher number in order to get to a debate and then have a vote on that particular state. So we'll see what they try. I mean, remember, they have objected every single time a Republican was elected this century.
Yes.
They objected on January 6, 2005. They objected on January 6, 2017. In fact, 2017, Jim McGovern, chairman of the Rules Committee, Democrat chairman of the Rules Committee at the time, he objected to Alabama. President Trump won Alabama. It's the first state. They call him in alphabetical order. He just wanted to be first, get out there and pound his chest. He objects to Alabama, a state President Trump won by like 90-10, and he's going to object to that. So it's ridiculous, this double standard. But I think, again, the American people have now seen completely through it. Remember, just a couple of weeks ago, we learned there were 26 confidential human sources here on January 6th.
Yes.
We're going to dig into that. Like, how many of them actually were encouraging people to go into the Capitol? Were they doing that? I don't know, but I'd like to find out. Did they enter the Capitol first? What were the circumstances surrounding the 4 that entered the Capitol and the 17 who were on restricted ground? So I think there's lots of questions we have about that and a host of other issues that we still need to, I think, get answers to for the American people.
So because you brought it up, and I was going to go there in just a moment, this insane post from the FBI on X on New Year's Day. Oh, lo and behold, here's this new footage 4 years later of the pipe bomber. Here's brand new footage. Oh, now we're suddenly very excited to catch the pipe bomber on January 6th, who I think you would agree with me, Mr. Chairman, is the only actual terrorist on January 6th. I mean, he tried to incite, whoever this individual is, tried to incite terror. I, for one, certainly want them to catch this individual. I'd really love to get the story here. So I will join with federal forces and say, let's bring this individual in and see who was operating this person. Why would the FBI be releasing evidence 4 years later when they've already locked up charged 2,000 different Americans with peaceful protest?
I don't know. And then given special awards to the people who ran the committee, who kept that information from us and told us things that were not accurate. I want to know who planted the pipe bombs on January 6th. I want to know who leaked the Dobbs decision, which resulted in an assassination attempt on Justice Kavanaugh. And I want to know who put cocaine at the White House. I also want to know about David Weiss and the sweetheart deal he put together. We're going to investigate that. And I want to know about Jack Smith and these 4 cases that where he went after President Trump. The 2 cases in D.C. and Miami as the special counsel. So we got a lot of work to do.
So what does it look like having Kash Patel at the FBI now? Because you've for decades, sir, had an FBI leadership that refused to work with you. Now it seems like you're going to not only have somebody who wants to work with you, but somebody who wants transparency, who's going to actively attempt to restore the credit of the FBI.
Yeah, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, all good quality people who are going to run these respective agencies, put the taxpayer first, not weaponize these agencies against we the people, but actually serve the taxpayer like they're supposed to. So yeah, good folks. I mean, it was Kash working with Devin Nunes who told us about clear back in 2015, the insurance policy. Remember the struck page communication? Don't worry, we got an insurance policy. And what was that insurance policy? Spying on the Trump campaign. We got that from the memorandum Kash put together with Chairman Nunes that went out to the whole country, where we started to figure out, oh my goodness, this was going on. And it just kept going from there. then it was Mueller, then it was impeachment, then it was Jack Smith, then it was raiding his home, then it was the 14th Amendment, you name it. Then it's Mershon and Fonnie Willis. It's ridiculous, and the country knows it.
So what's to prevent them from doing that again? Is there a plot awaiting President Trump? Is there some trap that's been set? I mean, you'd have to assume from a Pavlovian perspective, they're trying to sabotage whatever they can right now, and they're putting in place, trying to do as much damage as possible on their way out.
Here's what reassures me. The people understand it. And the people know that Kash Patel, Todd Blanche, Pam Bondi are coming in to run the Justice Department, and they're not going to fall for the baloney and the shenanigans that we saw with Jim Comey back 8 years ago. So I think that's the reassurance that we have. And always trust the people. The people figured out. You talked about Trudeau in Canada. You know what I think? Why Trudeau's leaving? What he did to the truckers, what he did to the freedoms of the Canadian people when he went after the truckers who were simply saying, we want liberty, we value freedom, we value what America has, the First Amendment, what they don't necessarily have in the same way, but they value free speech and liberty. That's what I think ultimately undermined this guy, and appropriately so.
Mr. Chairman, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but how long have you been in elected office? You've been eight terms?
18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
18 years. Okay. So you certainly know your way around the political ecosystem, and you're a very smart operator, and you're very powerful. And my question to you is, would any American politician be able to survive this? With this photo of Justin Trudeau in blackface?
Excuse me. Probably not. You know how the left operates. There's one set of standards if you're the left, another set if you're conservative and Republican or what have you. So probably not. But it looks like Justin Trudeau's not surviving, now, because again, in the end, I think Canadians, just like all people, value liberty, value freedom. It's instinctive, and I always say there's this concept that I think every human being has. We value fairness. I mean, since the time you're a kid and your brother gets 2 cookies and you get 1, it ain't fair. So we value fairness, and what they did to the truckers, simply trying to, do their living and speak out, was just so wrong, and it backfired on them. All that woke, crazy leftism.
So Kamala Harris, you'll be in the same room as Kamala Harris today. If everything were equal, if everything were actually fair, Kamala Harris would have been calling for Justin Trudeau's resignation as soon as she found out she was doing blackface, right? Clearly this is racist. Nonetheless, they embraced and loved on that guy until the very end. Kamala Harris will be certifying the L today. Maybe you get in an elevator and Kamala Harris is there. What do you say to her, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I think you always should be polite. Look, we know what we believe. We're going to stand up for our beliefs. We're going to push back on the left, but you always should be polite and thank Vice President Harris, formerly Senator Harris. Thank her for her service to the country. Who knows? She may try to come back and run. I think we beat her.
Please.
Whoever we put up, but
could you please tell her to do that?
Yeah,
Mr.
but
Chairman?
I think you're always kind.
And a final question for you on Liz Cheney. She's made quite a bit of news over the last 2 weeks, and there's been a lot to catch up on. But Liz Cheney has got an award from the White House, which seems like you're protesting a little too much. Got like the highest citizenship medal award from Joe Biden. And yet Liz Cheney is going to be facing some pretty tough questions in the upcoming GOP House. Donald Trump saying that she should go to prison for what she did on the January 6th committee. Can you give us some insight into what awaits Liz Cheney in the new GOP Congress?
Well, I think we are gonna look into some inconsistencies, and that's I think putting it mildly. She talked about with Cassidy Hutchinson, things that she said Cassidy Hutchinson did, which just do not square with the testimony. I mean, she said Cassidy Hutchinson wrote the note. It wasn't her that wrote the note. It was Eric Hirschman. She said Cassidy Hutchinson testified that someone come flying over the backseat, grabbed the steering wheel when the president did that. Didn't happen. And I know how many times they lied about me. They totally changed the punctuation in an email I forwarded. I didn't send it. I forwarded it from a lawyer here in town, former inspector general at the Department of Defense. That he had written something based on the James Madison and what he had said in the Federalist Papers. I forwarded that to the White House. Oh my goodness, you would have think we were crazy. So so when you have people who intentionally, deliberately mislead, it's just wrong. So and remember, This was the first committee that I'm aware of where there was no cross-examination element. Zero. That never happens in Congress. There's always the ability to cross-examine witnesses because it's a Proverbs, it says the first to present his case seems right until another one comes along and presents the facts. It's like, yeah, that's why we have cross-examination. So this was the first committee where they said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to rig it. We're going to rig it so much. We're going to get Cassidy Hutchinson to change her story and play all these games. And once again, as I've said several times, the country saw through it.
Yeah, the country saw through it, but it sure would be nice to have some type of punishment.
Yeah.
For anyone from Jack Smith to Jay Bratt, who just resigned as well. Matthew Graves just resigned. It sure would be nice to have some type of punishment or some type of consequence for this.
Especially what they put, people I know, friends I have, what they put them through. Like whole 4 years just putting people through, not caring about the facts. Just we're gonna go get our political enemies. That is BS. That is what is so wrong. When you mislead in a way like that, that is exactly when Scripture talks about not lying. When you mislead to harm someone and what you're saying is not true, that is as wrong as it gets.
So, in a parting question here, can we look forward to criminal referrals from Congress, from this Congress? Can we look forward to Republicans actually putting the pedal to the metal and actually putting the pain on, right? Old wrestling metaphor. Can we look for a little bit of a pin or a headlock here from the Republican Congress?
What I always say is we never take anything off the table, but we follow the facts and the evidence and where that takes us, and we're gonna continue to do that. And by the way, talking about wrestling, I think it's the last day of January. I was at Penn State for the big match. Senator McCormick asked me the other night, says, you want to go to the match? And I just don't think I can work it in, but that's going to be big. That's going to be sold out. Big match in State College.
Oh, man, it'll be painful. Penn State's got too good of a team, man. Penn State, Oklahoma State, man, we're ready to rock. It's the changing dynasties. There are changing dynasties everywhere, right?
Yeah,
it's very exciting. It's good. I think it's good. I think this is a great start of the golden era, and we just want to say thank you, Mr. Chairman, for bringing forward so much work. We wouldn't be here without the work that your committee has done, and you were very lonely. It was very, very lonely for you for quite a while.
Well, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate all the tweets you put out and the way you get information to the country. I appreciate all the good work you do. So thank you.
Well, we're ready to rock, and we'll be there. Let us know where we can help. We want justice, sir, and Godspeed today. Give Kamala Harris a little wink and a nod for us, will you?
Will do.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Benny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are rocking, we are rolling, and we're not done with the FBI pipe bomber story. So much news to get to. We will also be live for the certification of President Trump, which will happen in about 1 hour. So we're going to be live to get us through that time. We're going to have Julie Kelly and Mike Davis here. I want to really take some time and jump into this pipe bomber story because randomly in the dark of night, the FBI decided suddenly they want to find the pipe bomber. Oh, wow. Oh, joy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to take a lot of energy to actually get through this news cycle, that energy that keeps clanging around in our now completely empty. We don't do commercial breaks here, okay? But if we did, I'd be running to the fridge to get myself some more blackout coffee, okay? This is my mug. This is my cup. It fills up, and it fills up to the brim with blackout coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, I drink blackout coffee because they are one, an incredible patriotic company that does wish to keep our nation free. They're made here in Florida and awesome. The people behind this company are amazing. They're the opposite, actually, of communist Fidel Castro's son up in Canada. But also, their product is incredible. I drink it hot or iced, and it fills my cup, quite literally, ladies and gentlemen. 100% specialty grade Arabic coffee. Can stand on your shelf for up to a year. Cold brew latte, cold brew blueberry latte. They sent some of those to the studio, and they were zipped out, man. Just boom. The team was on them and all over them. Ladies and gentlemen, please go try Blackout Coffee today. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Use the coupon code Benny for 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Be awake, not woke. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Promo code Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, to keep this country free of the communists, you have to have the energy to fight the communists. Speaking of communists and plots against the American people, what the hell is going on here with this FBI story? What's happening? The FBI, lo and behold, like does this drop in the dark of night on New Year's, saying, "Oh, by the way, we've just decided we're going to try and find the pipe bomber. Here's some new information. Here's an article about it. FBI releases new footage of suspect planting pipe bomb near DNC offices on the eve of the Capitol riot." Oh, wow. They have a new video up. Apparently, there are some major inconsistencies in that video. Can you pop the thread, the Twitter thread up on screen, please? There it is, right there. Great. So this is the FBI. This was sent when, Killer Klein? Well, let's go down. Okay, January 2nd, 2025. January 2nd. So these start off the new year with a bang. The FBI wants to find the pipe bomber. A reward of $500,000 is available for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the individual responsible for this dangerous attempt to harm our community. And you're going to be shocked to hear that this is a J6er that I really want them to find. Okay, I'm full on board. Let me help you, FBI. I will gladly help you bring this individual in. I want nothing more than to unmask this person who I believe with absolute certitude is a Fed. I believe they're a Fed because they seem to be the only person that can't be found who conducted actual terrorism on January 6th. I don't think the bombs were operable. They seem to look like training devices, and this seems to be a setup. Even the chief of police for the U.S. Capitol says this was a setup to divert resources from the Capitol during January 6th. Scroll down, please. You can see here the FBI is now suddenly giving us brand new footage of the pipe bomber. Pipe bombers on their cell phone. Pipe bomber sending texts. The pipe bomber, according to all available video, seems to be talking through an earpiece. And the pipe bomber, and I'm going to put that in giant air quotes, the Fed, LARPing as a pipe bomber, also waves at one of the passing Capitol Police vehicles in one bit of footage outside of the Capitol Hill Club in Washington, D.C. It's a good old friendly wave. You can see it. It's live on camera. What the hell's going on here exactly? What is this? There's only one person that we must speak with about this very creepy curiosity from our federal agencies, and it's somebody that we have been itching to talk to. And I go through withdrawals. Okay, I go through withdrawals. Some people have various withdrawals, caffeine, nicotine, other harder stuff. My withdrawal is Julie Kelly. I need Julie Kelly on the program. I need her on the program all the time because she is able to fill in the gaps for these great questions from our federal agencies, and nobody does it better. The great Julie Kelly joins the program live now. Julie, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy J6 Day.
Happy
and
January 6th.
To satisfy your fix.
Yes, I'm in Julie Kelly withdrawal because there's been so much happening that doesn't make any sense. And every producer at this company knows, I scream into our landline telephones that we have here, "Get me Julie!" What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on with this FBI thing? Let's just pipe bomber. Let's just jump right into it. First off, why now? Okay, why now? It gives me the willies. Okay, it gives me like my spider sense is tingling. What opera are they trying to pull here?
Well, the night that the FBI posted their new bulletin followed several hours after I broke the story of a new House report authored by Representative Barry Loudermilk and Tom Massey that still has all of these unanswered questions about the pipe bomber, and actually caught the former head of the Washington FBI field office, Stephen D'Antuono, in a lie. He said that one of the cell phone files from one of the cell phone providers that they received had been corrupted. And that's why we can't track down. You could see this individual on the phone several times and said, that must be why we can't track down with cell phone data who this individual is. And so it was this lengthy report. I have a piece up on my Substack about it, but it basically says the FBI failed to identify the pipe bomber, even though they had some suspect early on. They didn't follow up on that. And really, Benny, the investigation went cold in February of 2021. Despite initially allocating a lot of resources, about 50 agents, they conducted 1,000 interviews. They looked at 40,000 hours of video. They had 500 tips come in. Benny, they actually went to retailers to find out who purchased those Nike shoes, who purchased the backpack, who purchased the elements that were found in these devices. So despite using every tool at their disposal, they still can't find out who this individual is. So it's just impossible to believe. And of course, there's all sorts of other questions about this. Most importantly, Benny, 4 years ago, Kamala Harris left the Capitol after a Senate intelligence briefing and inexplicably went to the DNC at 11:25 a.m. Now, we still don't know why she left. Not only was she the incoming historic vice president, she was a sitting U.S. senator at the time. So why did she leave the Capitol, go to DNC headquarters, where her security detail on numerous occasions missed this pipe bomb? We are told by the FBI was planted the night before. Her motorcade came within 20 feet of this device. On 2 occasions, bomb-sniffing canines also missed it. But the FBI told us it was viable and it was lethal. And she has never talked about it to this day, Benny. And she was evacuated at about 1:15, 15 minutes after the joint session of Congress began. So why did she go there? How did her security detail, including canines, miss that device? Why was she still there after the joint session began at 1 o'clock? And why has she never to this day discussed her near assassination by the MAGA pipe bomber on January 6, 2021?
So zooming out, based on all the conversations we've had, Julie, we're just going to speculate here what this op was. The op was to have somebody who is a Fed or is working with the Feds, who's been granted, of course, the blanket anonymity, and we will never, we'll never find you, right? We're never going to look really that hard. You're going to create mass panic. And we're going to be able, no matter what happens on J6, no matter what shakes down on J6, we're going to, at the very least, be able to claim that there was some type of MAGA terrorist that tried to create and incite terror. And at the very best, this is going to pull resources away from the United States Capitol to create the conditions of a riot and make that more likely. That's the way that I see this. And then the final cherry on top is we'll put Kamala Harris in the line of this thing in order to say that this was an attack directly on her and to make her some type of massive victim. And to say that, she'll be able to wear a badge forever and say, I'm a survivor of a MAGA terrorist attack, right? And how dare you, right? And you did this because I'm the first black vice president, woman, whatever. This was the response we got from Stephen Sund. That kind of shocked me on X. We posted this video, and I want to get your response to it. As I've said from the beginning, the pipe bombs were no coincidence. I believe that they are a calculated diversion to pull resources from the Capitol. Sold the key to unraveling January 6th, which is crazy. I was like, wait, this is nuts. Like, this is the actual guy who was in charge on January 6th saying the pipe bombs were a Fed op. Okay, so that's my take. But I am no expert. Can you help me fill in the gaps here? Am I right? Am I wrong? What are your thoughts?
Well, it certainly appears that some sort of government asset, whether it was an FBI informant or someone else working for the government, or perhaps another political interest, to do exactly what Chief Sund said. And that is, now the timing of this is important too, Benny. So the joint session was convened at 1 o'clock. At 12:40, a woman doing her laundry, Carlin Younger, who also is tied to law enforcement, and FirstNet, which is funded by the FBI, just happened to go do her laundry. Dumped it off at noon in this alleyway between the RNC headquarters and the Capitol Hill Club, which you see in that video there. 12:40, she starts running, you could see her on video, to a security officer at the Capitol Hill Club claiming, I just found a pipe bomb by this little doorway that she had to enter to go do her laundry. Apparently very strange. So that set off the first wave of panic. Then, for some inexplicable reason, they wanted the DNC, the Secret Service and Capitol Police and DC Metro, who were there, to look for a pipe bomb there. And then at about 1:07, the pipe bomb is discovered. Now, Benny, it was not hidden. It was laying on the ground under a shrub between two benches. And you can see for hours. And actually, I'm the one who found that the two occasions where the bomb sniffing canine went right past it. It's impossible to believe that that device had been sitting there for almost 18 hours and no one saw it. Passersby, other police officers, other pets, etc.
School children, right? Like a group of school children?
Yeah. Exactly right. So we're supposed to believe all of these individuals, including Secret Service agents, missed this device. But what I've covered at my Substack, and you and I have talked about, after the RNC discovery of the pipe bomb, you see a plainclothes police officer, we believe Capitol Police, who goes into this frame. Now, you could see right there, Benny, where, see that scooter? That's also odd. The scooter and then the two benches behind it. The pipe bomb, we're told, was right in between those two benches underneath the shrub that was there. So you could see this Capitol Police officer. Now, this is the only time, though, Benny, this camera is aimed at those benches. That's it. Otherwise, we can't see what happened the night before, the rest of the day. They pan out after the alleged discovery of this device and then quickly zoom back in so you can't actually see the discovery of the device. The sketchy video that we see of the pipe bomber outside the DNC, that's their own security camera. And I urge people to go watch, look at Darren Beatty's report at revolver.news, where he talks about the choppiness of this video, the poor quality, 1 frame per second, which you can't even buy a camera with that like that slow speed. It's back to like the 1970s. And what Darren suggests is that it has been tampered with to demonstrate this individual who was sitting there twice, actually, that evening, January 5th. So how can they continue to round up people who walked in the Capitol for 8 minutes with police standing right there, use all their investigative techniques to track down, grandmothers from Florida, but still can't find the person who almost assassinated Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi's motorcade drove past there at about 2:30, while the bomb, we're told, was still active, had not yet been detonated. I mean, none of this adds up. Absolutely none of it.
None of it adds up. Is this a real video, or do they fake this too? Do you think this is real, like actual authentic video, or do you think this is fake?
So I posted this, and I believe I have this at my Substack. So that's one camera angle of a camera outside or attached to the DNC headquarters. There's another angle as well, but the video captured on that camera is quicker than that one. And so how can you have one camera at one angle that's capturing video much quicker than that video? And then it appears, and I know we're getting in the weeds here, but this is why the FBI's conduct here is so suspicious. They slowed down the camera that was quicker to match the slower camera when that's not how the footage was originally released. So they can't even get the basic things right. Like, if you're going to cover something up and continue to do so over 4 years, at least try to have some consistency where people cannot quickly identify what you've doctored as you're trying to pretend that you're looking for this MAGA bomber. So anyway, House Republicans, and I know Jim Jordan just alluded to this as well, not only just looking into the J6 committee, but still all of the unanswered questions about J6, starting with this suspect still at large.
Very quickly here, Julie, why now? Like, I guess we haven't gotten to that question. They're not actually trying to find this bomber. Like, what's going on now? Is this a cover-up operation? Are they going to find the bomber right before Kash Patel takes the chair? Like, with your expert opinion, what do you think is happening?
I think this is part of the cover-up, obviously, that they're pretending that they're still looking for this individual. Questions that have been raised in Congress, questions that are raised in the media, you and I talking about this for the past few years.
Yes.
And certainly you have to believe they are extremely nervous about FBI Director Kash Patel, as they should be. So, yes, I think this was just a head fake before January 6th. I think it was also to tamp down coverage of the report that had been released earlier that day. But the bottom line is, Benny, this is just an FBI at every stage in the game that cannot be trusted to tell the truth.
Yeah, it's amazing to have the former chief of police, the chief of police on January 6th, to have him respond to us on X and say, this entire thing was a fed up. It was meant to divert my resources from the Capitol so that January 6th could happen. Dude, if you've lost that guy, like you're this close to total collapse of the entire narrative. You're this close. So how about the final collapse of the narrative? Donald Trump saying he's going to pardon thousands of J6ers on January 1. My final question to you, Julie, today. You must be celebrating this joyously. This was an announcement yesterday that was leaked by Bloomberg, I believe, reported out by Bloomberg. Does this match your reporting? How do you think this should be done? What is your advice to President Trump?
I think almost all of the J6ers should be pardoned, except those with criminal records. And those with criminal records, they speak for themselves, and we'll see what's happening with those cases. But the overwhelming majority, Benny, upwards of 90%, I would guess, have no criminal record, yet their lives have been destroyed over minor misdemeanors that have never been used in this way. And so President Trump has said he will be doing something on January 20th, that afternoon, in an executive order. I read the Bloomberg piece. It didn't have a lot of detail in that and didn't even seem to be sourced to anyone in particular. So I'm not so sure that it's saying anything different than what we're expecting, which is at least on day one, pardoning hundreds of J6ers who have been convicted or pleaded guilty to the 4 or 5 common low-level misdemeanors, perhaps even civil disorder. And certainly, I would urge the president to immediately pardon and dismiss any pending indictments on the now reversed 1512C2 obstruction of an official proceeding statute that was overturned by the Supreme Court in June. Believe it or not, Benny, Matthew Graves, the DC U.S. attorney, has not issued a blanket order vacating or request to vacate all of those convictions. Defendants still have to go case by case and ask the judge to either dismiss the pending charge or vacate the conviction. And Matthew Graves, nonetheless, still fighting to keep people in federal prison on a count that has been deemed unlawful by the Supreme Court. So this is just giving some context to the need for President Trump to act swiftly, which it appears that he will, but also more broadly, and not leaving out people who face convictions even of assaulting or interfering with police, because a lot of those cases are bogus as well. The government withholding exculpatory evidence, and certainly every single trial being held in a city almost completely populated by Democrats.
What an evil little goblin orc, that Matt Graves. Oh. What a sick puppy, that guy. I hope he has some justice waiting for him. We keep pushing members of Congress. They're all clammy about it. They're all like, oh, we will follow the process. Like, nobody has the balls to just be like, no, man, these guys belong in prison.
Benny, Matthew Graves issued a statement today warning that he may charge up to 200 more J6ers before January 20th. That's how evil this man and this Department of Justice are.
What a sick bastard, man. We're gonna have the Viceroy on in just a second here, Mike Davis, and so we'll.
Good.
This is the crime and punishment. This is the good cop, bad cop. Okay, you guys like an amazing, dude. If you're Jack Smith and you're sitting there in an interrogation room and like Mike Davis and Julie Kelly are the ones doing your interrogation, you're cooked. You're cooked.
I wish.
Yeah, you're cooked. You're done. Okay, just self-deport to Guantanamo Bay now, please. Hopefully they'll share a cell with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. We hope that you share a social media subscribe and follow to the great Julie Kelly. Thanks. Here is her X page. I think this is probably the best nexus for Julie Kelly. Then also, of course, her Substack, which is right here. Julie Kelly has some absolute bombshell reporting. The best out there, ladies and gentlemen. Go give her a follow. It'll be your best follow of 2025. The great Julie Kelly.
Thank you.
Godspeed, and this will be a glorious day to watch Kamala Harris take the L.
Thanks, Betty. You're the best. Thanks.
Happy J6.
For it.
Happy J6, Julie. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. We've stacked up so many incredible guests. I could do an hour with every single one of the, do an hour with Jim Jordan, hour with Julie Kelly, hour with Mike Davis, but we have the actual certification of Trump's win that will be happening here soon, and we're not going to miss it. And so to lay out the red carpet, let me bring on my favorite red friend, the great Viceroy. Mike Davis joins the program live now. Happy J6, Mike.
Happy J6, Ben.
Happy J6, buddy. Wow. Really looking forward to the monument of Kamala Harris certifying her loss. I think that we should immediately move to make that and the Trump assassination monument real and tangible in Washington, D.C. Are you in Washington, D.C. right now? Are you snowed in?
I am flying into Washington, D.C. late tonight. I'm in Colorado right now in the mountains where we get a foot of snow every day and we don't cry about it like they do in D.C.
A lot of crying in D.C., Mike, a lot of rending of garments, and a lot of people who are fleeing. So you're going to D.C. A lot of people are fleeing D.C. Matthew Graves is one of them. Jay Bratt is one of them. Jack Smith is one of them. Obviously, Chris Wray. And on their way out, you sort of like smack them right in the ass with like a please lawyer up. It's not going to be pretty or fun for you. Can you please explain what awaits after Trump's certification and inauguration for some of these people who've executed the lawfare against Donald Trump?
Yeah, so Joe Biden and Merrick Garland and Jay Bratt and Jack Smith and Matthew Graves and all these other Biden Justice Department officials who politicized and weaponized our intel agencies and law enforcement for the last 4 years to go after Trump, his top aides like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, who went to prison after they asserted constitutional executive privilege going back 250 years to George Washington for what they did to these January 6th defendants, what they're continuing to do to these January 6th defendants where they are politically persecuted. Yes, persecuted under the Supreme Court's Fisher decision last June. Julie Kelly has done a remarkable job covering these persecutions, and you just had her on. She's a friend and an ally. She's great. I would say to all these Biden Democrat operatives who did this, lawyer up. And I mean that very sincerely, because you have committed a very serious federal civil rights felony, conspiracy against rights, 18 USC Section 241. They're very familiar with this charge because it's one of the 4 counts against President Trump in the DC January 6th indictment for the non-crime of objecting to a presidential election, which is allowed by the presidential, the Electoral Count Act of 1887 and the First Amendment. Democrats objected to Republican wins in 1968, 2000, 2004, and 2016. We don't see Al Gore and John Kerry and Hillary Clinton being charged and going to prison like they did to Trump. So lawyer up, guys. You guys were the hunters for the last 4 years, and starting on January 20th at noon, you're going to become the hunted. And it's going to be a very expensive and very personally heart-wrenching process for you and your families, like you guys have done to Trump and his supporters for non-crimes. I'm going to push very hard from the Article 3 projects for the Trump 47 Justice Department to actually go after you guys for your real crimes.
Yes, and many of those crimes are stingingly painful today on January 6th, where peaceful protesters by the thousands have been locked up, had their lives destroyed by Joe Biden. A message perhaps to Liz Cheney, Mike. Liz Cheney, a lot of news since we've last been live. It's been about 2.5 weeks since you've been on the program. Liz Cheney getting an award from Joe Biden, a pat on the back. I doubt that's what you would give her if you were in charge of the White House. Can you please explain the fate that awaits Liz Cheney?
Yeah, I mean, I would say this, Liz Cheney, enjoy your moments in the sun where this demented old creep president gives you an award for being an awful human being. We have the evidence that you conspired with Cassidy Hutchinson to get her to change her testimony. That's obstruction of justice. That's subornation of perjury. That's conspiracy. So, Liz, your daddy has gotten you every job you've had in your life, going back to your days as a lifeguard. Unfortunately, your daddy couldn't save you when your constituents in Wyoming threw your ass out of office and put in a member of Congress who actually represents them. You've probably not stepped foot in Wyoming since then. Maybe to go on a private jet to Jackson Hole to go skiing or something like that. Otherwise, I seriously doubt you've spent any time in Wyoming. But I would say to Liz, you should particularly lawyer up, because the evidence is clear. What you did with Cassidy Hutchinson is a federal felony. So nobody's above the law. And if you've done nothing wrong, then the grand jury won't indict you. I think that's what you guys have said to Trump and his supporters over the last 4 years.
When you hear the reports of Donald Trump pardoning thousands of J6ers on day one, this must make you very happy. This is what I assume you endorse, Mike. How is this going to happen? I mean, we've never seen anything like this, I guess, on day one of a presidency. What would you recommend to the president?
I mean, I've said this all along from the Article 3 project very publicly that President Trump should pardon almost, just like Julie Kelly said, President Trump should pardon almost everyone on January 6th. And for the worst offenders, their sentences should be commuted, because nothing that happened on January 6th calls for a 22-year prison sentence. January 6th was a lawful protest permitted by the National Park Service that devolved into a riot. And there are three categories of people who were there that day. There were people who were there peacefully, and even if you disagree with them, even if you think they're crazy, they have an absolute First Amendment right to be there. There were people who trespassed, and they should have been charged with trespass, and there were people who were violent, and those people should have been treated more harshly. But the Biden regime lumped everyone together, said that they were all insurrectionists, even though no one was charged with insurrection, and threw the book at them. So I say to these Biden Democrat Justice Department officials, these January 6th units, go to hell and lawyer up, because you're going to face consequences for this too. Same with these judges. You're not immune from 18 USC Section 241, conspiracy against rights. If you are conspiring to violate the constitutional rights of Americans, you are committing a very serious federal civil rights felony. And just because you're a judge doesn't mean you get immunity from that. So there must be consequences. It must start with the pardons and commutations of sentences for these January 6 defendants. Then there must be probes set up, criminal probes, Office of Professional Responsibility probes, Inspector General probes, congressional probes. What they did to these January 6 defendants is inexcusable. It's monstrous. They tried to destroy these people's lives because they disagreed with them politically. And I don't want to hear anything from the Biden defenders. These people let BLM and Antifa and Hamas supporters cause a lot more death and destruction across America, and they essentially got amnesty. And then Joe Biden just freed from death row child rapists and murderers. So to the people who are going to cry about these January 6th pardons and commutations of sentences, go to hell.
I couldn't agree with you more. When I read Merrick Garland's statement on January 6th today, it continues to include falsehoods. Like there were 4 officers who died that day. That's factually untrue. This is the top law enforcement official in the country using lies still that we have found demonstrably untrue. 4 police officers did not die that day. Some died of their own hand. Some died of medical conditions afterwards that have nothing to do with January 6th. Now, there are January 6th defendants, however, that have taken their lives, and they're not with us anymore. I don't know what the actual suicidality rate is, but it's quite high. It seems like every single month there's another horrible story of a J6 defendant that took their own life instead of facing a jury in Washington, D.C. that is a guaranteed conviction. And so my question to you, Mike, is from the civil side. You've talked about the federal side and what a Republican Congress hopefully will have the balls to do. What about from a civil side? I'm starting to hear some drumming up of individuals that are planning on suing those involved in these malicious prosecutions. How could that be structured? How would that move forward? Is there a possibility for that to happen, for J6ers to create a class action lawsuit against those who terrorize them?
They should absolutely bring civil lawsuits, and the Trump 47 Justice Department should decline to defend these prosecutors who did this. They should not indemnify them. They should not pay any federal funds for what these prosecutors have done. They should let these prosecutors get sued in their individual capacity and have to hire their own private lawyers to defend themselves. Make all these law firms spend all their time defending these people with their pro bono efforts instead of these liberal law firms being on offense for the next 4 years. Make them be on defense, defending all of these Biden prosecutors, Biden agents, Biden operatives from the outside of government, the people like Andrew Weissman. When you have a conspiracy against rights, it's not just government officials who are subject to this, who are subject to both civil and criminal liability. If you have people outside of government working with government officials to violate constitutional rights, they are also personally liable for that.
So this could mean, just from the civil perspective, Mike, this could mean the destruction of people that did this. This could mean financial and political and personal destruction of the individuals who did this. So, I mean, these aren't idle threats.
God willing, they should face severe, and I mean the most severe, legal, political, and financial consequences for what they've done to Trump, his top aides like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, who went to prison, Trump supporters on January 6th, who were politically persecuted under the Supreme Court's Fisher ruling last June. And then these Biden operatives continue to do this. They ignore the Fisher decision, pretend like the Supreme Court didn't rule the way that it did. They've gone after parents outraged by gender chaos in schools and the resulting rapes in these bathrooms. They've gone after Christians, including throwing a 75-year-old Christian in prison for praying at an abortion clinic while they give amnesty to the much more deadly and destructive BLM and Antifa and Hamas supporters. There must be consequences, and that's going to start on January 20th at noon. So I'm glad that Matthew Graves and Jack Smith and Jay Bratt are thumping their chest on the way out the door. They better lawyer up.
Very quickly, Mike, because I know we're up against a hard out. Juan Merchan. There's so much news that happened since we were last live, but got to get to Juan Merchan, saying Trump will come into my courthouse and you're going to be sentenced. And I have a right, he said in his ruling, I have a right to put you in prison for 4 years. Juan Merchan.
I would say this to Juan Merchan, you better also lawyer up, because you're also, what you're doing is also a very serious federal civil rights felony. Again, 18 USC section 241. There are so many reversible errors in this bogus New York case, but where Juan Merchan has really stepped into it legally is he put an illegal, unconstitutional gag order on President Trump, where he can't speak out during this process. And he can't speak out about the fact, for example, that Juan Merchan's adult daughter, Lauren Merchan, is raising money off of this case. Lauren Merchan is getting paid by Kamala Harris's campaign. That required Juan Merchan's recusal under New York statute. That's not just crazy Mike Davis saying that. A former Clinton judge said that on CNN. Caitlin Collins' show on CNN on April 5th. How did Juan Merchan respond? He told Trump, if you mention my daughter's name and my conflict of interest, I'm going to throw you in prison. That is a very, very serious crime by Juan Merchan. 18 USC section 241.
Is Donald Trump going to be able to get out of appearing here in court? I know he's filed a motion this morning to stop it, but this is supposed to happen this week, I believe. Trump is supposed to be schlepped into court this week.
Yeah, on the 10th. Donald Trump is supposed to be distracted from being the president-elect and getting intel briefings and preparing to take office on January 20th, so we can go to this third world Marxist hellhole courtroom, even via Skype or video, to let Juan Merchan scold him, Juan Merchan can also go to hell. Lawyer up, buddy.
Okay, so the era of the viceroy coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen. The era of Mike as viceroy. I've told you, Mike, grow a long mustache, waxed, long, red mustache. Okay, get into some of those some of the Renaissance garb. Have a staff, right, with like a very large stone at the top of it that you walk with, right, that clicks as you walk through the halls, that scares people. And I'll be in your hype crew. You right? I'll be in your when you walk into a room, I'll be like, the viceroy. I'll do it.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to walk. I'm going to have people carrying me, of course, as the viceroy. But I'm very, all joking aside, I'm very serious about this to all these Democrat prosecutors and agents and witnesses and judges and other operatives. You have been the hunters for the last 4 years. Prepare to be the hunted legally, politically, and financially. Justice is coming. Nobody's above the law. Lawyer up.
We're very, very excited to work with you on all of this, Mike. Everybody can, of course, find Mike. You already follow him, most likely. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers now. Mike, come on, man. Look at you. You're the influencer, buddy. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on X, but you must be one of them. Go over and follow Mike, obviously. The Article 3 project is Mike's.
I'm not at the Ben Johnson level yet. Goals.
We're you know what? Every one of us has a note to play, Mike, okay, in the taking back of our country and the saving of Western civilization. Article 3 project is is where Mike works and his organization. You should go and you should follow their work. You should see how much they freak out. The corporate press, everyone, like, oh my gosh, it's like having Mike on is just like catnip for MSNBC. They just watch every single day. They can't help themselves. And it's so fun. And you can just hear the screaming and wailing and like the Gollum style gnashing of teeth. It's just wonderful. And Mike, in parting here, Trump's nominees, you're a man of the Senate. Trump's nominees, they're going to sail through. Yes. We hear that now. Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, sounds like John Thune signaling it's all going to move. Yeah?
Yeah, it's amazing when President Trump named Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard. All the very smart people in Washington said that they were dead on arrival. And then the Article 3 Project Action Center, we went on your show and other shows, Ben, and got your audience to light up the Senate with phone calls and emails at article3project.org, take action. And 3 days later, they went from dead on arrival to when can they start? It's amazing how we gave them an attitude adjustment, Ben.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune told that Pete Hegseth has the votes to be confirmed. Even John Fetterman saying he's going to vote for all of Trump's nominees. I mean, come on, baby. We're in a different landscape here now, baby. It's going to be beautiful, Mike, to watch Kamala Harris certify that L. I cannot wait. We'll be live, and we thank you, Mike, for helping make this happen.
Thank you, Ben.
Godspeed. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited. 30 minutes! 30 minutes! We'll get up a preview screen for you here. 30 minutes to Kamala Harris certifying her L. Kamala Harris will hop on screen here in just a hot New York minute, as they say, and she's going to be one of the very few vice presidents with the dishonor to certify her own loss. What a special little bit of salt we will pour today. The last person to do this in your lifetime or mine would be Al Gore, who had to certify his loss in the year 2000. That was, 25 years ago. So that was a while, and we haven't seen that in what would be effectively a generation. And so here we are now, witnessing history, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a very, very exciting time today. Kamala Harris has released a statement that does seem to us to be a ISIS hostage video. Kamala Harris down bad, I guess you could say. Kamala Harris is hitting the internet this morning with a hangover video of her wailing, gnashing her teeth, and talking about how glorious her certification of her election loss will be today. Ladies and gentlemen, that election loss will take place live in nigh on 30 minutes. And we're going to be live for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here's Kamala Harris's statement. Can you feel the joy Can you feel the joy in all of this? I'm watching the comment section. Let her have it, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Kamala Harris talking about what a decent and honorable, wonderful person she is when she stamps President Trump's certification today.
Peaceful transfer of power is one of the most fundamental principles of American democracy. As much as any other principle, it is what distinguishes our system of government from monarchy or tyranny. Today at the United States Capitol.
Okay, I got to stop here. I got to stop like every 10 seconds because I could do that. I have a critique every like I have a lot of critiques on this one. You'll notice this because we do run a media company around here. You'll notice she has a jump cut.
Today at the
See that jump cut? See how punk into like a punches in? That means Kamala Harris made a mistake. It means Kamala Harris couldn't speak. She's also looking a little raw, like all that makeup. She clearly got the Simpsons, makeup shotgun, right? That Marge has. And she like all that makeup still can't cover the fact that she is reeling from a bag of Xanax and 4 or 5 liters of box wine. The Cabernet, right? No, not Cabernet. Sorry. The Merlot box wine that she ripped through during Kwanzaa. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Kamala Harris. The point of this is that you can't, it's not to like roast Kamala Harris on her way out, because that's really fun and we're not above it. But it is to say that this is like the Joe Biden thing where he couldn't get the script right, just like a simple 60 seconds. And there has to be like 17 different jump cuts, because that's what an editor does when you screw up what you're saying. So note that as you're watching. Here's one right here.
Government from monarchy or tyranny. Today at the United States Capitol, I will perform my constitutional duty as Vice President of the United States to certify the results of the 2024 election. This duty is a sacred...
See that? See the angle? See the cut angle, right? This is Kamala, and then you can see the teleprompter literally reflected off the pupils on her eyes. You can see the teleprompter. You can literally see it. We don't got a teleprompter. It's just me, you, and the camera, baby. It's just us letting her rip. Okay, we got no teleprompter. Kamala Harris does, though. Watch her eye.
Obligation. One I will uphold, guided by love of country, loyalty to our Constitution, and my unwavering faith in the American people. As we have seen, our democracy can be fragile, and it is up to then each one of us to stand up for our most cherished principles and to make sure that in America, our government always remains of the people, by the people, and for the people. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
It is my job to maintain the United States of America. I today will lead America. Okay? I love America so much. This is the post that she put out on X. It's getting ratioed. There you go. Very nice. It's getting ratioed right here. You got Kamala Harris this morning. So I just played you the clip. Okay, so no need to play the clip again. Here's what she says. Today I'll perform my constitutional duty as Vice President to certify the results of the 2024 elections. My duty is sacred obligation, one I will uphold with guide a love of country, loyalty to our Constitution, and an unwavering faith in the American people. So those are pretty words that somebody else clearly wrote for Camilla, but it doesn't actually match the reality, because what we just saw a couple hours ago was that Kamala Harris doesn't even know the damn Pledge of Allegiance. Kamala Harris, who drapes herself in the American flag and all the niceties of this country, tried to say this Pledge of Allegiance on Friday when she was swearing in members of Congress. And it went like this.
Me in pledging allegiance to our flag.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's go.
Pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the...
Oh, my sweet summer child. Oh, my sweet summer child. That is not the way that's not the way it goes. So you'll notice here, not to do too much of a breakdown, but you'll notice here that Camilla says, I I pledge allegiance to the I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. That's not how it goes.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the...
Bro, come get your girl. Kamala Harris humiliating herself in this post and many others. We'll get to them. It's just some of the reactions are really fun. She's getting nuclear ratioed here. Are you spying on the Trump campaign like Obama did in 2016? Peaceful transition? Madame Joyful Warrior? I would ask if Biden is as well, but he's too busy pardoning pedophiles, murderers, and spies. Wish you'd perform your constitutional duty as VP before today. You know, like keeping America safe from the open border. Poetic justice. Man, that's a lot of words for just yapping, saying I lost. Guided by love of country is a weird way to say blowing tilt on a breathalyzer because I'm 80 sheets to the wind by 9 a.m. Is this televised? I would love to watch you certify Donald Trump's landslide victory. You know what, Ed? It is actually. It's going to be televised here in a matter of minutes. Oh, it's going to be really exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris did embarrass herself yesterday. Friday. This post is from today. On Friday, Kamala Harris had to swear in new senators. And that didn't go great, exactly. That went kind of bad. She had J.D. Vance laughing in her face. Kamala Harris getting roasted to her face. Now, how much of this revelry will happen here in about 20 minutes? I don't know. In about 20 minutes, they're going to, and boys, let me know when there's like an actual feed, like a preview. Okay, so we'll show you here. All right, we got a C-SPAN feed here. It has like people kind of milling about in a place called Statuary Hall. This is where they put a bunch of statues. Each state gets 2 statues, and you can go wander around Statuary Hall. This is, of course, the famous velvet red ropes, where the J6 terrorists abided by the red ropes. If we don't have the meme loaded, boys, let's load it. Oh, do we? Do we have the meme? All right. Well, we'll get there in a second. We're not done cooking Kamala. And we're obviously going to let everything play out because it's going to be very entertaining to watch Kamala Harris certify the L. But this is the live shot of the Capitol right now as they move quickly to certify Donald Trump. Hopefully, it'll be quick. Certify Donald Trump's election victory. To do that, you're going to have all the senators sworn in, the new senators and the new members of the House. The vice president, historically, as they are the president of the Senate, swears in new senators. This happened yesterday. This happened on Friday. Sorry, I keep doing that. It kind of blends together. This happened on Friday where J.D. Vance laughed in Kamala Harris's face as a new senator from Ohio was being sworn in. Here we go.
Solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Look at J.D. Vance. Look at your boy. Look at your boy. Look at J.D. Vance laughing his ass off, staring down Kamala Harris. He says, lady, you're in my chair. He says, lady, you're in my chair. Okay? Get out. Vice President coming in, laughing.
That you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do. Just look at J.D. Vance. I mean, there he is at the very end. You can see him right there at the very end, still laughing in her face. Look at how close Kamala and J.D. is. Kamala's there in the green, right? You can see her back, and you can see J.D. Vance's face, and he's just laughing. He's just giddy. That energy, man. And Democrats in absolute decay, decline, and disarray as Bernie Sanders gets sworn in by Queen Camilla, and she can't help but roast him on her way out. Dude, it's like these people, they're so... I try to be gracious in winning. It's like fun. Based on what they've done to us, we can together sort of dance on the grave of the tyranny, the communism, the Marxism, and the horrors of the last couple of years, and I'm certainly going to take my time to do that, and we're going to collect as much salt as we possibly can. But man, dude, like, just be gracious. If you're actually the person that's elected, or if you're the person in the chair, then you have to be gracious. And here's Kamala Harris going scorched earth against Bernie Sanders. Dude, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders already talking about switching parties. Crazy stuff here.
Stand right there. That is not your nature to just stand where you're told to stand. Give it a try.
It's a little hard to hear there because it's like a hot mic picking this up, right? They're not supposed to really be mic'd up here. She goes, it's not your nature to stand where you're supposed to stand, but why don't you give it a try? Low-key, like roasting Bernie to his face. Bernie Sanders did not come out hard for Kamala Harris. Bernie Sanders obviously defeated Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton in primaries, and then, like a coward he was, decided to drop out when the Democrat Party machine pressured him to do so. Bernie Sanders probably was the rightful candidate in 2016 and 2020 for the DNC, but dirty old socialist dropped out to his great shame. I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan, but I do think that Bernie Sanders, like if you go back and look at like Bernie Sanders, what he wants for America, dude, that guy's against NAFTA. That guy's against open borders. That guy wants a border wall. There are places of connectivity for like supporting the American worker. And on that front, okay, I stand with you. Ladies and gentlemen, very interesting times inside of the Senate. One final clip that I think is just really great. Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer's husband refusing to shake hands with Kamala Harris. How many of these will we have? Do we have these loaded? I have a longer one. Killer Klein? Okay, yeah, good. So this is Deb Fischer getting sworn in. Her husband holds the Bible, as is totally normal, right? The spouse or the child or whatever will hold the Bible. Check this out. Do we have audio on this?
No. It's okay. Yeah, we're waiting. Don't worry. Okay. We're ready. Okay. Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States? Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay, sure.
Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Hold it. Ready?
Oh, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank
King.
You. Okay.
King, you dropped your crown. Got your crown right here, King. What is this G's name? What is this guy's name? So this is Deb Fischer from Nebraska, and you can see here. Can we play the one with the music? Can we do that? ALX or Killer Klein? Can we do the one with the music? This one's so good. It got a bit of a remix here. Oh man, bro, like just absolutely cooked Kamala Harris. This guy, where's he? Yeah, exactly. Producer Danny goes, replace Mitch McConnell with this guy. I'll vote for this guy. Whatever you do. I don't know much about Deb Fischer from Nebraska. I'll vote for you, dude. His name's Bruce Fisher. Of course your name's Bruce. Of course this guy's name is Bruce. Dude. So here's Bruce brucing it up with Kamala, giving her the shade, the absolute ice king here. Go.
Thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You know I'm the face of the city, bitch. That's why you mad.
Dude, Jerry, you got to remix this one. You got to remix this, Jerry. I got to get Jerry's a little rusty, okay? Been down in the gold mine. You know how it goes in the mines of Nevada where Jerry lives. Pulling out gold for Christmas. Jerry's a little rusty. We're gonna get Jerry some meme. We're gonna get a Jerry quality meme on this one. Okay, this one is savage. Look at that. The dude refusing to shake Camilla's hand. Oh, bros. Very, very good. Very exciting. Amazing how Kamala Harris didn't say a single damn thing about January 6th. Isn't that amazing? In her little commentary here before the certification. Kamala Harris, not a single word about like, oh, January 6th is the time for us to remember the worst attack on America. Like I can write the script in my head because it's like you just hear it nonstop for the last 5 years. You thought you'd never be rid of it. It's the worst attack since the Civil War, since Pearl Harbor, since 9/11. Incredible how it's now that it's not usable. Now that the Fed op is not usable against Donald Trump. Poof, gone, vanished, like a mouse fart. Poof, just Gone. You haven't heard nothing. You have heard nothing today about J6, have you? What does that tell you exactly? What does that tell you? That doesn't happen for the Civil War. That doesn't happen for Pearl Harbor. Suddenly, like Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, December 7th, right, every year. It's not like there's an entire group of people that just forgot Pearl Harbor ever happened, or like refused to say that Pearl Harbor was an act of man-made horror on our American service members. Like there's not, that moment doesn't happen. But suddenly, January 6th, like the horrible, the terrorists, worst attack on democracy, the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. That's what Joe Biden said. That's what Kamala Harris said. And then nothing. Silence. I'll tell you why. I'll show you why, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fixing for a meme. Man, I'm fixing for a meme right now. There's this great meme that Elon Musk shared in response to Chuck Schumer doing this now. I don't know if we have the original thread up. I'm not sure if we have the original thread. Hey, Alex, do we have that? Elon Musk's response to Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer saying that to Trump incited an insurrection. Very exciting. But Elon Musk shared this meme in response to Schumer, mulling about January 6th. And it went thermonuclear viral. And there it is. The one that we have loaded, Killer Klein. Oh, yeah. Do you want us to remove this video? Chuck Schumer. By sharing the January 6th footage with Fox News, he has already done more than any party leader in Congress to enable the big lie. Donald Trump's big lie. Gosh, listen to just the manipulation of language. These people, they're just, it really is. We really are fighting the forces of darkness. Chuck Schumer tweeted this in 2023 when Speaker McCarthy was sharing footage with Tucker Carlson of January 6th. Elon Musk shared a meme of what actually happened on January 6th that includes a very special voiceover, ladies and gentlemen. And we'd love to sit back and appreciate that meme with you now as we wait, just 15 minutes away from Kamala Harris certifying her L. Here we go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the U.S. Capitol building. If you've joined us today for the insurrection, please make sure you pick up a promotional leaflet on the way in, stay inside the safety cordons at all times, and if you get lost, speak to one of our Capitol police officers. They'll be sure to point you in the right direction. And be sure to set aside a little time today to join us for some insurrection activities, including our photography tour, our fancy dress competition, and have a go on our climbing wall. But don't forget those safety ropes. And I've now received the results of our fancy dress competition. The winner today is Jacob Chansley. That's Mr. Jacob Chansley. If you could report to your nearest Capitol Police officer, they'll be sure to give you your prize, a guided tour of the building. And all that's left is for me to thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the insurrection. Wherever possible, please try to clean up after yourselves. Don't forget to visit the souvenir shop on the way out. And feel free to join us on the outdoor terrace for Nancy Pelosi's Insurrection Soiree. Grab yourself a light refreshment and enjoy the music of our very own fancy dress competition winner.
You are currently watching the first show that had the guts to go interview Jacob Chansley. In the year 2022, we traveled to Arizona and we did a full Jacob Chansley interview and a sort of comedy special with the guy. He's a sweetheart. You ever met Jacob Chansley? It's like a nice guy. We just saw him again at America Fest in Arizona, right in the lead up to Christmas. He's just a sweet, kind soul. He loves nature. He loves being outside. He is a shaman, believes in shaman energy. He's also Christian. He's somebody that is, I guess, one with the universe, right? I'm not sure I can endorse 100% of his beliefs, but who can? He's like a kind dude that thought that there were wavelength lines that were running through the United States Capitol that were negative, and he was there to cleanse it of negativity. That's what Jacob Chansley was doing. That's what the insurrection shaman, the MAGA shaman, is actually. But they took that opportunity to try and destroy that man's life. They threw him in federal prison for the crime of being escorted through the Capitol building by the police and of politely following every order he was ever given by a officer of the law. We have proof of that, in fact. Body cam footage shows that Jacob Chansley, the MAGA shaman as he's known, body cam footage shows that not only was he complying with police and going everywhere that the police led him in the Capitol, but that when asked to leave, he blessed and prayed with the cops. Okay? Now here's the actual footage. We're gonna fast forward here. We're gonna show you just a little bit of like the cops walking in. Clyde, I got control on this one. Yeah, the cops walking in, and then listen to Chansley. This is the footage of Chansley sitting at the dais in the Senate and like saying a prayer for the members of the Senate.
Time to go! Let's go!
Time to go. Okay. So then everybody leaves peacefully.
Thank you, officers. God bless you guys.
Thank you,
for your
officers.
patience. We really appreciate it.
Have a good day, sir. We really appreciate it. Have a good day, sir. We really appreciate it. Did you hear Jacob say that? Right here? There he is. I'm not in business with Jacob Chansley. We did one interview. I like the guy, but I don't know him. I didn't know him before this. And he lives like 2,000 miles away from me. But I'm telling you this as a matter of truth and fact, which is that this guy is not a violent insurrectionist. Jacob Chansley is an example of a man who went to prison for crimes he didn't commit. His crime was actually disagreeing with Joe Biden and disagreeing with the shady as hell, fraudulent election of 2020. That was his crime. That was his crime. When we say fraudulent, we say rigged on this program. Because, well, we don't have enough time to actually count how rigged it all was. Everything from the Hunter Biden laptop, which the FBI knew was true, to the water pipe breaks, to the late night ballot dumps. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody had a right, and as the American people, we have a right to petition our government and redress our government. It's right there in the First Amendment. When we are unhappy about something. And there's great purpose and bedrock to be unhappy about during January 6th, 4 years ago. And these systems need to be fixed. And the way to fix them actually is, one, make sure that Donald Trump takes the chair again, which he is about to be certified here in less than 10 minutes. Man, how exciting is this? Can we get a shot of the Capitol, please? This is the live shot of the United States Capitol, Donald Trump about to be certified as the President of the United States. Donald Trump taking power on January 6th is something that I can say now because it's actually happening. I can say this now without fear of being deplatformed or demonetized or whatever, because like this is actually what we're going to broadcast live today. Donald Trump taking power on January 6th. It's actually happening. The way that you actually create change in your nation, I mean, the first thing you have to do is you have to speak up, and the prerequisite to speaking up is like understanding what's actually true, and the prerequisite to truth is actually asking questions. We've been asking questions about January 6th. We've been asking questions about the Fed's direction. You just ask a ton of questions about the pipe bomber, the Fed at the Capitol, that was like maybe the only single terrorist actually on January 6th. That seemingly is was completely run by the Feds, and they're still covering it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen here in a moment and that I really definitely want to cover is going to be all the senators walk in together. Maybe you're watching that happen right now. Is that, yeah, okay. It might be what's happening. So you're actually seeing this. So all the senators are going to walk in along with Kamala Harris into the actual House. So they're walking from the Senate to the House. Let's go ahead and zoom out here. And do we have any sound? And there might not be. It's just a C-SPAN feed, right? It might just be click clap of the heels, high heels on the floor. What you're going to see here is a... Okay, yeah, it does look like it. You're going to get members of the United States Senate. Oh, there it is. Those are the actual electors. Okay, so this is boxes. Those are the boxes of the ballots of the electors being carried into the House of Representatives right now. Those are Donald Trump's electors from the state. They're walking through a place called Statuary Hall. And those are the little leather boxes that include all the electoral votes for President Trump from each state. And there's Chuck Grassley. Okay, so there's Camilla. Hi! How you be doing? Followed by Chuck Grassley. There's Schumer not looking happy. Can we get a sad trombone for Schumer? No show will have more fun than we do. You'll notice some senators here. Mike Lee. What up, Mike? What up, based Mike Lee? The absolute G. Scumbag, Adam Schiff, who should be in prison. Yes, Rick Scott. John Cornyn waddling in. And you got Joe Kennedy. Wobbling. A lot of waddling. You got some new senators here. Is Dave McCormick from Pennsylvania. Huge W there. They tried to steal that seat. John Ossoff is going to get his ass kicked in Georgia. This is Ted Cruz. We'll listen in here, see if we can hear anything funny.
State of the Union, they also announced this is coming in. Yeah. And I suspect there'll be House members on either side of the aisle. My kids are here, so once we get done,
they came and got it. Yeah. Got it also does.
Chris Coons, James Langford, Mazie Hirono, the lowest IQ member. I mean, Mazie Hirono should have to wear
the little one. She's just getting more and more nervous. So the pressure's getting on her.
Yeah. Raphael Warnock will also lose. JD Vance. JD, shout us out.
No, they've been good students.
A little thing. It's a little thing.
And right now, our time living over in Asia.
Senator from Tennessee here, holding court.
That program
with Ed Markey.
Apparently on the inside is much more beautiful. Thank you.
Here's JD Vance. JD Vance is having the time of his freaking life.
Are they bringing textbooks? Mr. Vance, did you have 6 riders and pardons?
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, hell yeah. Yes, Kings. Here we go. Baby. Happy January 6th! This is your average Senate staffer cadre of people who can't button their shirt collars. Yep. Happy January 6th! Kamala Harris leading the bunch. Oh, man. This is just great. It's going to be glorious. I cannot wait. I'm so excited about this. They're all going to be filing into the Senate here. I think they're probably going to want to make quick work of this. They're going to read out the count of each state and the votes. You're going to hear every single swing state votes going to Trump. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, All of them going to Trump. Georgia, North Carolina. Come on, baby. You're going to hear them all shouted out for Trump. A lot of cheers and a lot of revelry. You can see here some of the dorky breaking of the House rules. You're not supposed to take any photos on the House, jerk. Chuck Schumer down there. Chuck Schumer waiting to again incite his erection. I'm not trying to be potty mouth here. The guy literally said it. I don't know. Do we have the clip? The guy literally said it. Okay. I'm not trying to be a potty mouth. Okay. I'm trying to tell you that Chuck Schumer, as long as it's plebiscite, yeah, let's do it. As long as it's a plebiscite.
Have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection against the United States.
And there he is down on the floor. Oh boy, better keep the camera angle above the pants. Okay, Chuck Schumer's going to get very excited during this new insurrection. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump taking it back. Donald Trump taking power. Taking all of the federal government's power on January 6th. I can't believe I can just say it. And it's like 100% factual, true, and legal. Donald Trump taking all power, unified control of government, unified federal control of government for MAGA. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. There is no audio. Nobody's mic'd up here. I just want to make this very clear. Kamala Harris, you can see her there at the dais with Mike Johnson. A reminder of how short Mike Johnson is because he's about the same height as Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is like a midget. And Mike Johnson, very much looking like the Lollipop Guild there at the dais. No hate, okay, no hate. You know what I think about Republican leaders in the Senate and the House. I think they're weak, and I wish they were stronger. But would be happy to have Mike Johnson on the program anytime because we have some questions we want to ask him. He's actually offered. He came up to us at Mar-a-Lago and offered to come on the program. So let's go. We'll take questions from the audience. It'll be great. We were sent a meme here that I think will be... We were sent a meme here. I want to see Killer Klein. Do we have that loaded as a play-beside? Okay. Just like sort of a preview of Kamala Harris practicing her speech. We got an exclusive footage of Kamala Harris practicing her speech today. Let's go.
Did you ever let anybody take your power from you? You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did.
Can somebody get me a Gatorade? it's like, whoa! Woof, Buzz, your vice president. Woof, Buzz, your girlfriend. There they are. You'll notice various members of Congress here and there. There's Marjorie Taylor Greene. You can see her beaming right there. Marjorie Taylor Greene was critical, actually. We made a couple phone calls critical in getting Mike Johnson the chair. There's John Thune. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm a big John Thune hater, but the guy, we've said this many times before, the guy can escape Mitch McConnell's shadow and we'll work with him, okay? I don't like John Thune. I don't like what I've seen from John Thune, but as of late, John Thune's been doing some pretty decent stuff. John Thune says that virtually all of Donald Trump's nominees have support in the Senate, have the support to win in the Senate. We're talking RFK, we're talking Pete Hegseth, and we're talking Kash Patel. So, dude, that's a great way to get started. All right, I'm a Christian. I'll forgive, but you're gonna have to show up, right? You're gonna have to show up. Do we have John Thune on Cash?
Yeah, I just sent it. It's loaded.
We do.
For a throw, yeah.
Okay, so John Thune confirming Kash Patel has the votes, along with confirming that Pete Hegseth has the votes, along with confirming that RFK has the votes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be really, really important, and it'll be the first test of John Thune. The reason I don't like John Thune is actually because John Thune is like taking hook, line, and sinker the leftist framing of January 6th. That's why I don't like John Thune. John Thune has like 1 million posts on X about like how January 6th was one of the worst days in American history, blah, 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 right? And how evil everyone was and everything. So it like makes me think that he's a muppet, that he's a puppet. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Jonathan. Again, there's no audio. There's nothing happening right now. It's just going to be B-roll of them like talking and yapping. It's not particularly interesting. We've already made the John Thune erection joke. Oh, there's Tim Burt. There's Burchett. You all know Burchett. There's Burchett right there talking with J.D. Vance. Is that right? That's cool. All right, good old Tim Burchett. Let's book him tomorrow, see what he had to say. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here's John Thune. We're going to be fair. We're going to be fair with people, right? Here's John Thune saying, nope, I'm getting Donald Trump's, all of his appointees are getting confirmed.
Are you certain that Kash Patel's priorities would be fighting crime, protecting national security, rather than settling political scores?
I think that he understands what his mission would be if he is successful in getting confirmed to that position at the FBI. The FBI is an agency that I think is in need of reform and needs a good makeover, so to speak, and probably a good amount of house cleaning when it comes to just the perception the American people have of it. And these institutions that the American people need to have confidence and trust in, I think that confidence and trust is largely eroded. And there's an opportunity to fix that. I think that's what I sat down and met with him. I think he understands that's the mission. And if he's successful through the nomination process, I hope that he will take very seriously that responsibility and focus on what he can do to make the FBI operate in a way that is protecting the American people and also being accountable to the same.
So I don't like that language. If he is confirmed, I mean, maybe he's just trying to be polite there. All of the reporting says that he will be confirmed. Here's an article from John Thune, citing John Thune, saying that Pete Hegseth does have the votes. It's down here. I think it's B. It's B or C block here. Yeah, D block. There you go. Here's an article citing John Thune, saying that Pete Hegseth has the votes. Pete Hegseth is supposed to be the most controversial one, not Kash Patel. Tulsi Gabbard, I saw in the comment section. I don't want to miss our girl Tulsi. Freaking love Tulsi. Friend of the show. Been on the show a bunch of times. Freaking love Tulsi. What do we need, ALX? Do we have any news on Tulsi? Danny, ALX, Ashley? Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's starting. We're live now. We just had like a little tap of the microphone. Again, they're the same height. Bad look, bro. Same height. So, okay. Well, no. Hey, Killer Klein, there's JD again. Killer Klein, thank you. I don't want to miss it. We don't want to. We very much pride ourselves on being live for important moments, and this is one, and we will not miss a moment. Okay, we will not miss a moment, ladies and gentlemen. You shouldn't miss a moment. Certainly, one of the ways that you stay locked in with us and our program and what's happening in this nation is by using a mobile device that will keep you solid and informed and is dependable nationwide, and that's Patriot Mobile for us, ladies and gentlemen. We use Patriot Mobile everywhere that we go. Their 100% US-based customer service team can help you switch today. They're the only Christian conservative wireless provider in America. Go right now to patriotmobile.com/Benny, patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT. Patriot Mobile is the official cell phone of our show. Here we go.
Of the United States, the Senate and House of Representatives are meeting in joint session to verify the certificates and count the votes of the electors of the several states for President and Vice President of the United States. After ascertainment has been had that the certificates are authentic and correct in form, the tellers will count and make a list of the votes cast by the electors of the several states. The tellers on the part of the two houses will take their places at the clerk's desk.
Oh, this is so awesome to see. Oh, it's just so glorious to see. So she's sort of just like laying down the rules there for how the count takes place. A reminder, and of course we're not going to play the clip right now, since now the rubber is hitting the road, as they say. But a reminder
Action. Without objection, the tellers will dispense with reading formal portions of the certificates. After ascertaining that the certificates are regular in form and authentic, the tellers will announce the votes cast by the electors for each state, beginning with Alabama. Senator Fisher.
President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Alabama seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 9 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 9 votes for vice president.
Based.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Alaska seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 3 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 3 votes for vice president.
Based.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Arizona seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 11 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 11 votes for vice president.
So they're making libs read the red states? That's great. Oh, it's so salty.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Arkansas seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 6 votes for vice president.
Way to go, Arkansas.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of California seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 54 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 54 votes for vice president.
54. California should not have 54 electoral votes. I cannot wait for them to lose electoral votes in this next cycle.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Colorado seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 10 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 10 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Connecticut seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 7 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 7 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Delaware seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 3 votes for vice president.
Boo. I boo.
Madam
Boo.
President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the District of Columbia seems to be irregular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 3 votes for vice president.
District of Columbia is counted in the Electoral College. They should
Madam
not
President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Florida seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 30 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 30 votes for vice president.
Yes, eat it, commie. Eat it, communist. Yes. Suck it.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Georgia seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 16 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 16 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Hawaii seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 4 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 4 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Idaho seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 4 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 4 votes for vice president.
Based Idaho. Stand up, Idaho.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Illinois seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 19 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 19 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Indiana seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 11 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 11 votes for vice president.
Indiana boost! Way to go, Indiana!
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Iowa seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 6 votes for vice president.
Yeah, baby. I'm an Iowa native. Proud of my
Madam
home
President,
state.
the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Kansas seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 6 votes for vice president.
Come on, Kansas. Let's go, baby.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the Commonwealth of Kentucky seems to be regular in form and authentic, and appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 8 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 8 votes for vice president.
Well done.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Louisiana seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 8 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 8 votes for vice president.
Base Louisiana. We're praying for you guys down there. Praying for those in New Orleans.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Maine seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for president, and Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 1 vote for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 3 votes for vice president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 1 vote for vice president.
Boo. Maine should vote Republican. Boo. Maine can be.
Madam President.
Maine can be a red state.
The certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Maryland seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 10 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 10 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 11 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 11 votes for vice president.
Boo. Boo. Losers.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Michigan seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 15 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 15 votes for vice president.
Booyah!
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Minnesota seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 10 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 10 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Mississippi seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 6 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Missouri seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 10 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 10 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Montana seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 4 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 4 votes for vice president.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Nebraska seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 4 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 1 vote for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 4 votes for vice president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 1 vote for vice president.
Lame.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Nevada seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 6 votes for vice president.
Nice. Based Nevada. Come on.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of New Hampshire seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 4 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 4 votes for vice president.
Boo! New Hampshire's a red state. New Hampshire is a red state. Come on. New Hampshire should win. New Hampshire
Madam
should
President,
be like easy
the
state for
certificate
Republicans.
of the electoral vote of the state of New Jersey seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 14 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 14 votes for vice president.
Boo. Election fraud.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of New Mexico seems to be regular in form and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 5 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 5 votes for vice president.
Okay, dude, New Jersey, boo New Jersey and boo New Mexico. New Jersey and New Mexico could actually be red states.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of New York seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 28 votes for president. Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 28 votes for vice president.
Boo. Boo, Minnesota. Minnesota's also a red state.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of North Carolina seems to be regular in form and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 16 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 16 votes for vice president.
Boom. Boom. Drop it in. Well done. Well done. North Carolina.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of North Dakota seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 3 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 3 votes for vice president.
Way to hold it down, North Dakota. Well done. Look at MTG. MTG like grinning ear to ear.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Ohio seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 17 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 17 votes for vice president.
Well done. Way to go. There's J.D. getting it standing O. J.D. getting the standing O.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Oklahoma seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 7 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 7 votes for vice president.
Kamala
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the
bad.
state of Oregon seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 8 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 8 votes for vice president.
Boo. Nobody wants to live in your state.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 19 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 19 votes for vice president.
Well done, Pennsylvania. Way to go.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Rhode Island seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 4 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 4 votes for vice president.
Boo. Shouldn't even be a state.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of South Carolina seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 9 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 9 votes for vice president.
Come on, baby. Nice. I love it.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of South Dakota seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 3 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 3 votes for vice president.
Well done. Well done, South Dakota. North Dakota. Rock and roll.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Tennessee seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 11 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 11 votes for vice president.
Tennessee only gets 11 votes, dude. Like, they should have more votes than that. They got a huge population spike in Tennessee. Red states are booming.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Texas seems to be regular in form and authentic.
There you go.
And it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 40 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 40 votes for vice president.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Texas, stand strong, stand proud. Oh, remember, Ted Cruz was supposed to lose his Senate seat again. Garbage.
The certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Utah seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and J.D. Vance from the state of Ohio received 6 votes for vice president.
Utah did not go as red as it should have. If we got problems in Utah, I got to fix that. Okay? Should have gotten way more red.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Vermont seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 3 votes for vice president.
Game over, baby. Game over. Game freaking over. J.D. Vance is going to run up and take Kamala's chair.
The certificate of the electoral vote of the Commonwealth of Virginia seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 13 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 13 votes for vice president.
Yeah, baby. Kamala down bad.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Washington seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 12 votes for president, and Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota received 12 votes for vice president.
Boo.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of West Virginia seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 4 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 4 votes for vice president.
West Virginia should have more votes than that. West Virginia is awesome. We love West Virginia. West Virginia!
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the great state of Wisconsin seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 10 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 10 votes for vice president.
Boom. Wisconsin. Coming in strong.
Madam President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Wyoming seems to be regular in form
Here we go.
and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 3 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 3 votes for vice president.
Members of Congress, the certificates having been read, the tellers will ascertain and deliver the result to the President of the Senate.
That's Kamala Harris, so.
The undersigned, Deb Fisher and Amy Klobuchar, tellers on the part of the Senate, and Brian Steele and Joseph Morelle, tellers on the part of the House of Representatives, report the following as the result of the ascertainment and counting of the electoral vote for President and Vice President of the United States for the term beginning on the 20th day of January, 2025.
The state of the vote for the President of the United States as delivered to the President of the Senate is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris.
Oh, baby, oh, this is salty. The salt must flow. Oh, the salt. Oh. Woo.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
We lost! Yay! We got blown out. That's the way that Kamala started it.
The whole number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, a majority is 270. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes.
Ooh. Creepy jazz hands.
This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected, President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
The salt. The salt, it flows. Oh, that is a great moment. Oh, man, let's watch. JD, come in over the top like WWE and take the chair. Jump from the balcony,
Having
JD.
been concluded pursuant to Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 2,
JD.
119th Congress, the chair declares this joint session dissolved. Thank you.
JD, wear buffalo horns, paint your face, and jump from the balcony and take the chair. Do it, JD. You have the chance to do the funniest thing ever, JD. JD, you're sitting right there. Wear bison horns, blow a horn, okay? And then jump into the chair from the rafters. JD. Come on, Killer Klein. Now's our time. One more Trump wins. Let's freaking go, baby. It's done. Come on. Who's doing the Trump dance with me? Who's doing it? Who's doing the Trump dance? There's JD Vance. There. I mean, we can turn the audio back on, but none of these guys are mic'd. You know what I mean? So you're just gonna kind of hear a white noise. Yeah, you just kind of hear crowd murmurings. We'll see. Let's see who JD talking to. Some of our favorites is Ronnie Jackson's there. There's Electoral. This has got some of our homies. All right, it's people that are regulars on this program. We also have a really special clip of Kamala Harris. What Kamala Harris is doing right now. Back in the back of the Senate, we have a pretty unbelievable. I mean, I just can't believe this live shot of Kamala in the back of the Senate. It's really, really successful. Yeah, I just can't. It's good for her. You know, what kind of wine is that? It's very viscous. Look at this, Kamala getting mogged. Look at you, you little devil, Mike Johnson. Look at you. Look at that little smirk on his face. And Kamala looking rough. Camilla looking rough. There it is. You see the Electoral College tally. Come on, baby. Donald Trump posting on Truth Social. Donald Trump posting on Truth Social a photo of January 6th. Photo of the largest grouping of patriots maybe ever, because, you know, on January 6th, probably the biggest Trump rally in history. There's like 100,000 people there. There were probably like 20 people that were actually violent on that day. And I've said it many times. You punch a cop, I don't care if you're wearing black bloc or red hat, you got to go to prison. I mean, you got to go to jail. You shouldn't punch cops. I'm saying that the 99.99999% of the people there were peaceful. Just peaceful protesters wanting a better country. And now we got it, baby. Now we got it. And Kamala Harris, down bad. Let's go to our live shot one more time. See if we can capture anything else. It's always fun to see. Looks like J.D. Vance, the man of the hour. Everybody crowding around J.D., trying to get themselves a selfie or photo. J.D. getting lots of people snapping shots. J.D., the man of the hour. Well done. Isn't this glorious, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't it amazing to see? Let me give you a headline here. I started my career as a writer. Let me give you the written headline. President Trump seizes power on January 6th. MAGA in full control of the federal government. It's amazing. Oh, I'm so excited about it. Oh, it's just wonderful. Saw some of the comment sections shouting out, giving some hate to different states. State here, state there, right? You're seeing live on screen J.D. Vance posing for photos. Pop on in there. You go ahead and see. I got some interesting data for you on the states. The U-Haul list. You ever heard of this? The U-Haul list. The number of U-Hauls that were going to and from each state. U-Haul is, it's just a corporation, right? So it just tracks the data, and they come out with a list as to where people moved and where they left. And they can do this because they can track their U-Hauls. So where are the U-Hauls all leaving from, and where are the U-Hauls all going? We'll play that list. We'll show you that list in just a second, and you'll see exactly how great this is all going to get. So, I saw a lot of hate, in the comments. A lot of people like New Hampshire's a red state, Minnesota should be a red state, New Mexico should be a red state, New Jersey should be a red state. A lot of news in there, actually. Yes, and you're right. Actually, you're right. And in fact, vast swaths of places like Oregon, California, and Washington are red. The vast majority of the states of Washington, Oregon, and California are red. Okay. California is going to be losing states. So let me give you a little bit of math here. Let me give you a bit of math. And Klein, while I'm talking through the math here, can you pull up the Electoral College map for the year 2024 and how that went? Decision Desk is the one that I want to use, please. Let me give you a little math how this is going to work out. So Kamala Harris lost. She lost in a landslide. She lost all 7 swing states. But by the time there is a, let's say, J.D. Vance presidency, then, and that's, I think, what you're looking at here is your front runner for 2028. You're looking at a front runner here, 2028, because of the feckless and weak Republican leadership that allows the census to count criminal aliens, illegal immigrants. We still have a map like this. This map is going to drastically change. Texas is going to get 5 more seats. Florida is going to get 4 more seats. Well, that's like 90 Electoral College votes right there between those 2 states. I don't think those 2 states are going, I don't think Florida's going Democrat for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen, or ever again. New York is going to lose seats. California is going to lose Electoral College votes. And that's with them counting criminal aliens. Criminal aliens should not be counted in the census. This is something that I've actually had a couple of conversations with Team Trump about, that maybe the census should be redone, because the last census counted illegal immigrants in the census. Well, what does that do? That gives places like Illinois too many votes. That gives places like California, obviously, too many votes. Places like New Mexico, even Arizona. You have these states that are clearly an obvious violation of the law, but they're legitimately rolling out the welcome carpet like California does to criminal aliens in order to try and boost the number of Democrat votes that they can steal in an election cycle. Next, when the current census map goes into effect, Listen to me, and I'm going to say this clear as a bell. When the current census map goes into effect, Donald Trump, given this map, would not have to win Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania to win. And I'm not knocking those states. I freaking want to win them all. Okay? I want to win them all. But we were all biting our nails on election night. I hear this like all throughout, it's over the last couple of Killer Klein. I'm so proud of the work that we did on election night, man. We were live for like 12 freaking hours. We said we're not going to bed until they call it. Okay? And the number of times that we hear like, man, watch on election night. It's great. Thanks, for putting out positivity. Sometimes you just got to vision cast, right? You got to just lock in and you just got to say, we're vision casting. We're going to have a positive take on all this. So my positive take is I want to win them all. But we were biting our nails on election night because of Pennsylvania, because of Wisconsin, because of Michigan, because of the amount of fraud that can take place in those states. They worked really hard to, I think in many cases, fraudulently take over various Supreme Court seats, governorships in these states. This is where you saw a Senate seat stolen in a state like Wisconsin, where you could just clearly say it, like from Milwaukee, like this should have been a Republican pickup in Wisconsin. It's like a deeply unpopular senator from Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin. Like she should never have won. She won by literally a whisker. What am I trying to say here? This map changes forever for the rest of our lives. Next election cycle, a Republican doesn't need Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin to win. That's how popular red states have become. Can we go back to the live shot? Can you see if there's anything else happening? That's how popular red states have become. And there's J.D. Vance of Ohio, still posing for selfies. Why is that? I'll tell you what, man. All the polling shows that J.D. Vance is a very popular pick for the potential next president. He's winning all the polls right now. It's typically how it goes, by the way. But J.D. Vance is a total homie, He's a good dude. So there he is, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. Rocking and rolling. We'll bring J.D. on as quickly as possible to the program live. We had, and it's a great pain point for me, but we had interviews booked over the course of 2024. I'm not going to get into too many details, but everything from Biden dropping out to Donald Trump getting shot to various crises and debates and things, like it just became a scheduling nightmare, and we just couldn't get it done. We're very excited about the work that we've done here to lock in Trump and J.D. Vance in the new era of Washington, D.C., the golden era. And of course, we'll be bringing you your inauguration coverage live. It's going to be awesome. There's Corey Mills. It's our boy Corey Mills. Freaking love Corey. There he is right there. Corey, locked in. Abe Hamada. It's a new member of Congress from Arizona. Decent dude, according to what we hear. And there we go. I don't know who he's talking to right now. But we're ready to rock. Ladies and gentlemen, very quickly, I want to give you a positive take on all of this. Just hop on over here to the U-Haul rundown. This is the U-Haul States for Growth 2024. South Carolina. Put your hands up. States ranked by their net gain or loss of one-way movers last year. So this is a pretty...
Conference, I send to the desk a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 13, resolved that the following...
I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading.
Without objection, the resolution is agreed to and the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
So we're going to go about regular
What purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, by direction of the Democratic Caucus, I offer a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
Klein,
the clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution
It's kinda
14,
like standard
resolved that the
parliamentary-
following...
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be
I do. I appreciate the instinct. I mean, if Kamala Harris if Kamala Harris, like wine drunk, like wobbles up, like her lipstick smeared and her mascara running, and wobbles up there and starts giving a speech, right? Like a drunken speech, and slurring and like yelling, then yes, please cut back as soon as possible.
It was like an I object moment.
That's right. There was actually no objections, to your point there. There's a 0 objections there from libs. So it's freaking awesome. So I just want to ring the bell of how excited we should all be for the future here. Check it out, baby. Check it out. This is the one-way movers for people going in and leaving states. The trend of southern states netting large numbers of one-way U-Haul customers continue in 2024, with South Carolina topping the U-Haul growth index for the first time, followed by Texas, North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee to round out the top 5 growth states. Come on, baby. California experienced the greatest net loss of movers of U-Haul equipment and ranks 50th for the 5th consecutive year. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's look. Let's round out the top 10, okay? See how many red states there are in the top 10. So give you like a wonderful insight into how your country is growing and how our movement is growing and how the people of this nation are going to give power to our freedom movement, hopefully in perpetuity. Let's look here. Top 10. South Carolina, well done. Texas, well done. North Carolina, red state of Florida. Then Tennessee at number 5, okay? Not particularly shocked, no massive shock there, although finding South Carolina at the very top was a bit of a shock to me. I said, wow, good for you, South Carolina. That's what I said. And way to go. Let's go to the next. Arizona, Washington, okay, that's a blue state. Arizona's a swing state, Washington. And Arizona's a little scary because there's a lot of Californians going to Arizona, so you just got to keep your eye on that. But Donald Trump won Arizona handily. Washington, that's a blue state. Indiana, Utah, Idaho. This Utah thing is, of course, the California migration. And the Idaho thing is a California migration. However, it's not all bad because the people leaving California, a lot of them are Republicans. There's millions and millions of Republicans in California, and they're done with it. So it's not like it. Don't be scared of it thing. Washington's the only solid blue state on the entire list. And that is most likely because of California migration. So it's probably just Democrats going to a Democrat state. Let's look at some of the more popular as well. More popular. Oklahoma, red state. Arkansas, red state. Maine should be a red state. Ohio, red state, solid red state of Georgia. Alabama, Virginia, South Dakota, and Minnesota and Vermont. So there's like, out of the top 20, there's only 3 actual blue states that have net migration in. Out of the top 20. You know how great that is for our nation? Let's just zip on down here to the bottom. Sorry for scrolling super fast. I know it's a little bit jarring. Let's look at the people leaving the states. Where are people leaving? They are leaving Illinois. That is no surprise. My parents left Illinois for Florida a year ago. They're leaving Pennsylvania. Well, you know what? I got to tell you, have you ever gone through Philadelphia? Like, have you ever driven through Philadelphia? Have you ever driven through Kensington? You ever driven through these places? They're literally unlivable. It's a zombie apocalypse. Literally like a zombie apocalypse is filming there at all times. You would have to assume that. The question would be, is this from like rural parts of Pennsylvania or are these from like the big cities? I would assume it's from the big cities. Anyway, lots of love for Pennsylvania. New York, classic. New Jersey as well. Massachusetts and California. So you have blue state, used to be a blue state, blue state, blue state, blue state, blue state. Hemorrhaging people. Hemorrhaging. Number 49 is Massachusetts. ALX, our great executive producer, ALX, is from Massachusetts. Will ALX be the next one to leave? Will he be the next person to leave? I know. Is ALX want to come on the show and answer live whether you shall leave Massachusetts? Will you be the next one? Will he do it? I don't know. You guys know I always do this. Executive producer ALX. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to. If he does want to and he wants to answer for Massachusetts, then he can. Massachusetts at the bottom of the list. New Jersey, by the way, lots of love for New Jersey. We think that we can flip New Jersey red. Massachusetts is a totally different story. ALX, you going to come on or no? No, he said no. He says no? All right. ALX says no. All right. Fine. Good old ALX. He said, not today. Still nursing his New Year's hangover. And considering maybe his U-Haul. Come on. Florida, ALX. Come on, man. ALX could use a tan. California is number 50. So there you go, baby. This is bad. And then the numbers there correspond with their last ranking. A lot of people leaving Pennsylvania. New York, Massachusetts, California. Dude, this is so inspiring. It's so awesome to see. It's just such a great thing to see. Our power back and returning. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we've had a 4-hour live now? Just 3.5 hours, okay. Producers, I just want to really quickly check. I mean, I'm rocking ready to go. I feel great. You feel great? Moment celebrating, ladies and gentlemen. Moment celebrating. We watched Justin Trudeau resign live. I think we have a meme for that, actually. Do we? Okay, great. We haven't watched much Justin Trudeau resign live. We got Kamala Harris certify her own L. Jerry, can you do this meme for Trudeau and for Kamala certifying the L? Come on. Come on, Jerry. Get me both. Get me both. It's been a great live. Danny, Ashley, our two awesome producers on the program. Has Trump said anything?
I have his statement up from Truth.
Has Trump said anything, though, about the certification of the election? Okay. We showed you Trump's truth. It's just a photo of January 6th and the patriotic crowd there 4 years ago. President Trump has sounded off on Justin Trudeau leaving office and resigning in disgrace. Here we go. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer massive trade deficits and subsidy that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. This is Donald Trump. Madman. He's like actually pushing for it. I love it. I just freaking love it. I just can't. Oh, it makes me so proud. Manifest destiny. Come on. Manifest destiny. Greenland, Panama, and Canada. Let's go. Add them to the Amazon shopping cart and let's check out. Justin Trudeau checked out. We have a beautiful meme of that moment happening. Here's how it was covered in a Canadian sports bar.
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yes, yes, yes. It is a glorious, glorious moment. So Justin Trudeau resigned live on our program. Donald Trump becomes the president now, elect and certified live on our program. Kamala Harris had to lock in that L. And Donald Trump changing the world before he even takes office. We still got 14 days before Donald Trump takes the chair. Ladies and gentlemen, one other W that I think is very worth noting. You know, we are no fans of Zelensky of Ukraine, but even Zelensky now says that Donald Trump is the strong leader who will end the war in Ukraine. Well, that is actually what I want. I want Zelensky to be fully investigated, obviously, in an international criminal court. This is a man who's destroyed the Christian church in Ukraine. He's destroyed an entire generation of people. His feckless leadership and embezzlement has obviously led to man-made horrors. We're not sitting here trying to say it's, gumdrops and roses over there. But better leaders and stronger leaders could have prevented all of this. And here's Zelensky saying, Trump will stop the war. That's what we want. Here we go.
It won't be long because Europe will be looking at us and we'll be looking at Trump. And by the way, I now see that when I talk about something with Donald Trump, whether we meet in person or we just have a call, all the European leaders always ask, how was it? This shows the influence of Donald Trump. And this has never happened before. With an American president, I tell you from my experience, this also gives you confidence, that he can stop this war.
This dude should be investigated for money laundering, also for potentially coke habit, and for his reckless leadership, persecution of the Christian church in Ukraine, and obviously interfering in the American election. Remember, this sniveling little rat came over here to America and started talking smack on J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. Bro literally came here, did a campaign stop for Democrats in Pennsylvania, where he was signing tank shells in a Pennsylvania factory and then endorsing the Democrats for president. No, dude. No, we will not forgive Volodymyr Zelensky. However, we will be in favor of ending this war, and we'll take whatever deal we can get. We do not want the war in Ukraine to continue. We do not want any war to continue. We want peace and prosperity around the world. How do we get that? Well, with the resignation of the scumbags who have been in charge in this country, and that is happening so quickly we can barely cover all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, our Monday Gun Day, brought to you by Spikes Tactical, the official AR-15 of the Johnson household. Some very good news for you today. Joe Biden's probably one of the worst Second Amendment gun freedom presidents in my lifetime. There were like seemingly small little attachment, like braces, like a brace, right? Like a pistol brace that were suddenly outlawed via the ATF by this jackass who just resigned. And every gun owner had to like suddenly like tens of millions of gun owners were suddenly in violation for something that was legal like a second ago. This is just one example that comes to mind because I happen to own a lot of guns. I like owning a gun. I like being able to protect my family. Everything in my power that I can do to make sure that my children live peaceful, harmonious lives, I certainly will. I want my children's prosperity, and that's what every good American should be fighting for. That's what America First is all about. The scumbag caused me to have to call my lawyer and have to call like the gun retailer that we get our firearms from. I have to call our friends at Spikes Tactical. Be like, what does this pistol brace rule mean? Like, what the hell is this? Anyway, that caused absolute like panic and collapse inside of the legal gun owners in this country. These guys never talk about where the actual firearm violence comes from in this country. They'll never put up the actual data. They'll never actually talk about who are the people that are using firearms for criminal enterprises, like are committing the actual shootings. Where do all the shootings come from? We'll be happy to put up the data. I don't know if we can get it here on this show. We'll read through the data right now. You're going to be shocked to learn that it's criminals by and large, and career criminals, often it is felons with enormous numbers of felonies that are the ones who are driven to gun crime. Many times, the vast majority of those gun crimes are illegally purchased firearms. What's the point? The point is the ATF never focuses on that. They'll never tell you the hard data of that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this scumbag's resigned. President Joe Biden's ATF director, Stephen Dettelbach, tendered his resignation on December 20th, 2024, with an effective date of January 18th, 2025. 2 days before Donald Trump is inaugurated, the Firearms Policy Coalition reacted to Dittelbach's resignation on a post on X that says the ATF director has tendered his resignation effective. This is a great start to 2025. Citizens for Committee to Right to Keep and Bear Arms also cheered Dittelbach's pending departure, with its chairman saying this is one of the that's one less person Trump will have to fire when he takes office, one less gun prohibition lobbyist on the government payroll. Yeah. The ATF director, Trump needs to appoint an ATF director who will run the agency and not politicize it. Dittelbach has overseen an ATF that many viewed as weaponized under the Biden administration. The agency has gone around Congress to unilaterally enact gun controls, including universal-style background checks and new regulations on partially completed firearms and so on and so forth, including regulations that affected me. And I'm sure you can come up with regulations that affected you in all of this. And then nonetheless, never, ever having the capacity to, like, talk to you about it's not the NRA members who are the gun criminals. It's not the legal gun owners who are the gun criminals. We're just trying to protect our kids. You start arresting gun criminals. Start arresting criminals, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting right now. A wonderful, wonderful start to 2025. Brought to you by our friends at Spikes Tactical, the official AR-15 of the Johnson household. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of parting gifts for you. A meme of Kamala Harris certifying Donald Trump's election. Do we have that one ready to go, Klein? Let's go. We promised it to you. Here we go.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris
yes. And we have the cabinet ready. Just say, is it, we have another meme, Jerry? Should we play this one? Do you have another meme? You guys confirm it. I want to go through really quickly this incredible cabinet that we are looking forward to welcoming in just a matter of a few days. And you'll see a bunch of people who've been on the program. Really excited about it. A bunch of people who've been on the show and who are friends of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you start with J.D. Vance, Vice President. You have Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth on there. This is Kash Patel, obviously, a regular on the show. It's got Marco Rubio and Tulsi. Freaking Kristi Noem, Robert F. Kennedy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a stacked admin. Got some time to chat with the governor of North Dakota. His name's Doug Burgum. Seemed like a totally decent dude. Really wants to do some work with our show. It's pretty cool. And I got some real heavy hitters here with Susie Wiles, who's going to be incoming chief of staff, who's, an absolute, going to be an absolute ice queen, they call her. And we're excited about that. Susie Wiles saying today there's going to be no BS allowed. Alex, you got that quote? Can you just search and see if we got that quote? It's an amazing quote from Susie. We are preparing for a great and wonderful rest of the month. It's going to be exciting. The only way you're going to be able to lock in, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're subscribed to our program. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Here we are at 3 hours and 30 minutes today, and we don't even feel it, Klein. Don't even feel it, man. We're just vibing, just in a flow state. So good to be back. And we're going to be live. I do have one important piece of information for you, which is that my wife is now 39 weeks. She's like 9 months pregnant. So we're going to be welcoming new baby Johnson. We don't know if it's a boy or girl. We've decided, we found out with our other three. We found out, we don't know if it was a boy or girl. So we're going to find out. It's going to be a little surprise for us. And so it's going to be an exciting moment. And so that may disrupt ever so slightly some of our broadcast. You know, I'm not going to miss the birth of my child. And we're going to be present there. I got 2 girls and I have 1 boy. And, it's been one of the greatest couple weeks of my life, even though we love you so very much as an audience. And we consider you family. Being there, locking in with my children and my family over the last couple of weeks and just really unplugging and really logging off and being present and realizing what we're fighting for. So don't ever forget what you're fighting for. And it makes us all the more ravenous to continue the fight. Ladies and gentlemen, Susie Wiles, just real quickly, just something fun we didn't get a chance to get to because it's too much breaking news, but this one's great. Susie Wiles saying, expect the Trump White House to be run like an absolute tight battleship. Susie Wiles vows to block West Wing troublemakers, incoming White House Chief of Staff. Susie Wiles tells Axios in an interview that she aims for the West Wing to be a no-drama zone for staff. If that works, it won't be a chaotic den of self-sabotage that stymied the early days of President Trump's terms. Yeah, that's right. Listen to this quote. This will make you so proud and so excited for what's to come. I don't want people who want to work solo or be a star, Wiles says, who's called the Ice Maiden. My team and I will not be tolerating backbiting, second-guessing inappropriately, or drama. These are counterproductive to the mission. Yeah, baby. Susie Wiles will become the first woman White House Chief of Staff, the 5th person to serve in that role under President Trump. She's a veteran Florida operative. She's 67 years old. She worked with Ron DeSantis. She worked with our dear friend, Rick Scott, who's a complete badass. Susie Wiles is already exercising power during Friday's chaotic re-election of Mike Johnson, a photo from the House floor showed an iPhone screen of Marjorie Taylor Greene on the phone with Susie Wiles. Wiles says she tries not to manage Trump and dislikes chatter that she does, pointing out that she managed the campaign, not the candidate. Good for you. Susie Wiles is going to have a rockin' great time. We look forward to supporting her in a role, making sure that she's not going to look at this. So great. It's like this so great. It kind of reminds you of your like scary by the book hand the grindstone grandmother here. Will not tolerate backbiting, second guessing inappropriately, or drama. I don't want somebody who wants to be a star. I don't welcome people who want to work solo. This is great. This is exactly the attitude that you need. Donald Trump making the right decisions, the right personnel decisions, right decisions for our country. And we have gotten to be here at a front seat for all of it. It's been the privilege of a lifetime, and we're just getting started. So it's going to be really fun. Oh, that was so awesome. Watching the certification of the election. And yeah, so amazing. So we have for you, ladies and gentlemen, a request. If you support our work, if you want to support what we're doing here, please join the Benny Brigade. The Benny Brigade is how we keep the program operational through shadow banning or demonetization or the types of roadblocks that get thrown up. This is the fastest growing news stream in the world, and we just thank you for being part of it. We know that a lot of people, especially around the holidays, it was made quite clear, like a lot of people don't have any extra cash, and so just like, and I know what it's like, the vast majority of my life I was dead broke. So if you can't, don't freaking even sweat it, because we love you and we care about you. And you just watching supports us. You watching, leaving a comment, rolling in the chat, that supports us. And we are deeply, deeply appreciative for you. I just had some, I'm going to stop it on my like whole like little mythical spiritual journey, you know, over the last 2 weeks of, you know, logging off. But man, got some time to really appreciate like what the team does here and what we all do together. And it's been really blessing, because sometimes you don't get a chance to sit back and appreciate all the blessings of God in your life. And I think that you need sometimes space to do that. And so profoundly thankful and grateful for you. And the way that we show this is, of course, our verse of the day. Because at the very least, we'll leave you with something that is true, that a true nugget of truth that comes straight from our Creator, from Isaiah. Arise, shine, for your light has come, the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Doesn't that feel like a verse perfect for today? Ladies and gentlemen, let your light shine. Make sure that we are no longer the silent majority. What a stupid term. We are the loud majority that is here to take back our nation. We weren't ever asked to be silent. We were asked to let our light shine, and that is what we are going to do. May God bless you, and this a wonderful new year and new season. Keep tuning in. We're ready to rock and very excited, recharged, and re-energized to save this country. And now the real work begins. It's your boy Benny. Please enjoy all of these memes that we've put together for you. The meme compilation continues. God bless you. See ya.
America. Your admiration is well-founded, but I am merely a servant. Do not worship me!
I'm going to punch him out for trespassing on the Capitol grounds.
Alrighty then.
The best gifts are always a surprise. So if a happy ending is staring you right in the face, then just say, all right, I guess I'll take it.
Merry Christmas, baby. Merry Christmas, and such happy
show where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.